Lights on and screen up. Oh yeah. Death Witch in the house. Pump it up, pump it up. Sexy gaming stream. Feeling right, feeling right. All eyes on him. In the zone tonight. Zone tonight. Joystick in hand, smooth as silk, smooth as silk. Playing with fire, what a thrill, what a thrill, what a thrill. Chat's going wild, hearts on a spree, on a spree. Get ready, folks, it's time to see, time to see, time to see. Everybody move, swing and play, swing and play. Death Witch like, come join the fray, join the fray, join the fray. Groove to the rhythm, don't delay, don't delay, don't delay. Catch that vibe, stay and sway, stay and sway, stay and sway. Come on, let's go! Swinging beats and joystick feats. He's the king of gaming treats. Come on, yeah. Strings so tight, lights so bright. Death Witch is in the zone tonight. Liberty of play, stylish flair, stylish flair. Winning every round, beats to share, beats to share. Watch him dominate every way, every way. Feel the rhythm, join the craze, join the craze. Everybody move, swing and play, swing and play. Death Witch like, come join the fray, join the fray, join the fray. Groove to the rhythm, don't delay, don't delay, don't delay. Catch that vibe, stay and sway, stay and sway, stay and sway. Lights on and screen up. Oh yeah. Death Witch in the house. Pump it up, pump it up. Sexy gaming stream. Feeling right, feeling right. All eyes on him. In the zone tonight. Zone tonight. Joystick in hand, smooth as silk, smooth as silk. Playing with fire, what a thrill, what a thrill, what a thrill. Chat's going wild, hearts on a spree, on a spree. Get ready, folks, it's time to see, time to see, time to see. Everybody move, swing and play, swing and play. Death Witch like, come join the fray, join the fray, join the fray. Groove to the rhythm, don't delay, don't delay, don't delay. Catch that vibe, stay and sway, stay and sway, stay and sway. Come on, let's go! Swinging beats and joystick feats. He's the king of gaming treats. Come on, yeah. Strings so tight, lights so bright. Death Witch is in the zone tonight. Liberty of play, stylish flair, stylish flair. Winning every round, beats to share, beats to share. Watch him dominate every way, every way. Feel the rhythm, join the craze, join the craze. Everybody move, swing and play, swing and play. Death Witch like, come join the fray, join the fray, join the fray. Groove to the rhythm, don't delay, don't delay, don't delay. Catch that vibe, stay and sway, stay and sway, stay and sway. Lights on and screen up. Oh yeah. Death Witch in the house. Pump it up, pump it up. Sexy gaming stream. Feeling right, feeling right. All eyes on him. In the zone tonight. Zone tonight. Joystick in hand, smooth as silk, smooth as silk. Playing with fire, what a thrill, what a thrill, what a thrill. Chat's going wild, hearts on a spree, on a spree. Get ready, folks, it's time to see, time to see, time to see. Everybody move, swing and play, swing and play. Death Witch Light, come join the fray. Join the fray, join the fray. Groove to the rhythm, don't delay, don't delay, don't delay. Catch that vibe, stay and sway, stay and sway, stay and sway. Come on, yeah! Swinging beats and joystick feats. He's the king of gaming streets. Come on, yeah. Strings so tight, lights so bright. Death Witch is in the zone tonight. Liberty of play, stylish flair, winning every round. Beats to share, beats to share.
What's up, witches? I think I got my voice back for the most part. Here it looks like shit. Okay, whatever. I'll deal with it. We're just gonna look rough tonight, I guess. Oh boy. Alright, I'll get my Discord. Let's see what's going on the interwebs tonight while we play some video games, watch some slop content. Let's do some Fortnite. A Christmas update. Want to check out? I can play something I can kind of turn my brain off. I do feel like just watching some YouTube today. Playing some video games. And relaxing. Relaxing with you guys. You're gonna keep me company. While we all turn our brains off. And let them rot on the internet. Bum 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 bum. All right. I'm gonna try to fix my audio tomorrow. I'm going to attempt to fix my audio tomorrow. Alright, fuck it. I'm just gonna dive on in tonight. We're just gonna dive on in. I haven't really got a content plan for tonight. I wasn't even gonna stream. But I'm God. Still feeling kinda under the weather. Okay. Bread tube is falling apart. Let's watch this video on Completionist.
Hello, are you out?
Looks like he has completed his career. No.
Absolute legends. Can you believe it? It's already been more than a year since the completionist and his family's decade-long charity scam was exposed last November. For those who need a quick refresher, between the years of 2014 and 2023, Gerard and his charity, the Open Hand Foundation, took in around $1 million of donations, money that they said was going to...
That's right. He opened his hand and you all gave him your money. Why do they do this? Why do they do this? What? Oh, fucking cough drops. I had cough drops. Sorry, hold on. Oh my god, I'm losing my mind. I bought a whole bag of false cough drops. No, where are they? Okay, we'll watch this video and then I'll figure it out. I bought a whole bag of cough drops. My throat's killing me and I don't want to be barking at my stream all night. I can't fucking find them. Thought I brought them up here. I must have left them downstairs. Alright. Anyway, yeah, why do they do this? Why do they always think they can get away with some fucking charity scam? Like, what was the bread tuber guy's name that did the same thing? Started a non-profit and like 90% of the profits went to him. Ooh, Moisty Meyer. I don't understand. The completionist really thought he'd get away with it too. That's what drives me insane. Like, he tried to... Like, you can't play it off as incompetence when you've been doing it as long as he has. Like, that is an astronomical level of incompetence he expected people to believe, but...
various charities focusing on
He'll
dementia research. But over that entire time, the truth was that they hadn't donated a single penny and had kept everything. It was only after Mudahar and myself made our videos about the situation that the Open Hand Foundation finally donated some of the money, donating $600,000 to the...
Yeah, he tried to make it sound like it was an accounting error. Like, oh, well, we'd been keeping track of it all and we'd been meaning to donate. We just, you know, our bookkeeper, yeah, like the excuses he gave for it at the time were pretty bad.
The AFTD. The completionist public image was pretty much destroyed, and deservedly so. He had been lying for years, and after he was exposed, he took no accountability whatsoever. He made up excuses, made up lies.
Never trust a man with a beard like that. Okay? That's always been true throughout history. Guy make one of those big beards out of their dicks. Okay? Like the Duck Dynasty guys. Alright, they scam people. They were all pieces of shit. I'd even go as far as to say back in the day. Okay, the originals. Yeah, they looked good in music videos, and they sounded cool. The ZZ Top? Yeah, you watch the VH1 behind the music on those guys, they were assholes too.
And more than anything was just angry at us for making the public aware of what he was doing. And it didn't take long for the completionist to return to YouTube and continue making content.
Just try to pretend like it didn't happen.
Response video, he just moved on and acted as if this entire charity scandal never happened. And his family moved on and didn't care whatsoever either.
Look, for a lot of YouTube scandals, for a lot of things like that, that's the best course of action most of the time. Is to just not respond to the drama, to just keep going on business as usual, and most of the time it'll blow over. Most of the time. There's a few things that you do, though, that's not going to work for. And scamming people in the name of charity, or scamming a charity, is one of them. The other ones, messing with children. But anyway.
They even held another golf charity event several months later. This was immediately after it was already proven that for years the golf charity money had never even made it to the Open Hand Foundation. The family was keeping everything. But then, around 4 months ago, the completionist disappeared. And there might be a good reason for this. The completionist production company, That One Video Entertainment LLC, is in huge trouble. I've never spoken about this, but for the past 2 years,
There we
the
go.
completionist
Tell me
company
the
has
new
been
stuff.
engaged in a frivolous lawsuit against the biggest GTA Online roleplay server, NoPixel, basically trying
Hey,
to
that's the one I got
them
banned
for half
from.
of their company. And in October, they lost. And now Gerard's
Oh,
company
shit.
may have to pay back hundreds of thousands of dollars in attorney's fees. And the cherry on top of all of this is that it appears as though the Open Hand Foundation might now be under investigation by the IRS. A lot's been happening.
shit.
And in today's video, we will take a quick look. I really hope you enjoy. Now,
Hell
Legends,
yeah.
a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Watcher of Realms. Watcher of Realms.
We're going to watch his sponsor because, you know, we are watching his content, but I didn't know he was suing NoPixel. What was the reason for the lawsuit with NoPixel? I'm sure that he'll get into it, but I didn't catch what he said. I got banned from NoPixel, but, you know, well, I don't see why being an ignorant redneck isn't a role I can play. I'll put it that way. I was an ignorant redneck pimp, actually, and I had a whole stable full of bucktooth whores that now I can't keep track of because I got banned. They said I was trolling. I wasn't trolling. I was very serious about my stable of bucktooth whores. Okay? It was like my name is Earl, but, you know, for sex trafficking.
Is a really fun fantasy RPG that I've played a ton of over the past year. It combines classic fantasy RPG elements with tower defense, which are two of my favorite genres. I love the
Hate
real-time
tower
strategic element that tower defense brings. It makes the gameplay so much more interesting.
Tower
The
defense is
graphics
just so
are
boring.
incredible, and there are over 200 unique heroes to collect and develop. And
Like, I don't
Watcher of
mind the
Realms
strategy
is
element,
celebrating
it's just
Christmas
boring.
time with a
You're just
brand
watching
new limited
the things
hero,
happen.
Sun
I prefer
Wukong.
real-time
He
strategy
brings the Christmas
in my
cheer
strategy
with a
games.
festive new skin.
Hey,
and
I
an
said we'd
awesome
watch the
event
commercial. I
featuring
didn't say I wouldn't
strategic
talk over it.
stages, challenging mini-games, and a beautiful Chinese-inspired map. 'Tis the season for exciting events where you can win 74 free summons, tons of valuable items, and the new legendary hero Callista with her exclusive
Oh,
artwork,
yeah.
along with the powerful
Gotta enjoy
mage
those
Lyra
gacha
in her
games,
sexy
you
Christmas
absolute
battlesuit.
legend.
There are so many amazing gifts to unlock during these Christmas celebrations, and to receive them all, simply log in daily and participate in all of the festivities.
Yeah, I'm
Watcher of
good.
Realms has a great selection of game modes, including the campaign, arena,
Only play
guild
2 games
boss,
on
and
mobile?
intense guild v guild battles. And
Fortnite
honestly,
and
it's the
Minecraft?
perfect time
And that's
to
'cause
start
they're the same
playing.
games I
To
can play on
download or
console.
play Watcher of Realms, just click the
I
link
don't
in
play
the
mobile
description
only
or scan
games.
the QR code on screen. It's available for free on PC, Android, and iOS.
Before we start today's video, I want to recognize that I know that I have lost a lot of your trust at home.
No
I
shit.
want to spend as much time as it will take to rebuild and re-earn your trust. It's going to take time, but
It's going to take more time than you have on Earth, my friend.
This is what Gerard said back in January
Yeah.
when he returned to YouTube less than 2 months after his
Yeah,
charity
that worked
scam
out for
was
him.
exposed. I have no idea what he meant when he said that he wanted to re-earn your trust, because after this statement, he continued to pretend that nothing ever happened and he never spoke of it again. For the next 8 months, Gerard would continue to post videos to his
Straight up
channel,
forgot about the
hoping to
gas.
resuscitate his brand.
Damn it.
The quality, however, was now greatly diminished because most of his employees either quit or he let them go. And then in August, he released a video about alien isolation and hasn't been seen since. But while Gerard was pretending that everything was hunky-dory on the surface, behind the scenes, shit was hitting the fan. For the past year, many people, including myself, have been waiting for the Open Hand Foundation to file their 2023 IRS tax forms. Personally, I wanted to see if anything changed after they got exposed. Were they suddenly going to start properly declaring their income now that so many eyeballs were focused on their charity? Well, what's interesting is that the Open Hand Foundation hasn't filed their 2023 IRS tax form, despite it being long past the deadline.
Yeah,
If
no
you
shit.
search the
Even if you
charity
got an
through the Office
extension,
of the
it'd be
Attorney
long past that
General,
too.
It says their reporting is incomplete and the IRS form is required. This hasn't happened in any other year. The Open Hand Foundation have always filed their forms on time. So it's very peculiar that at a time where it's more important than ever to be transparent, they aren't reporting. Of course, there are multiple possible reasons why they aren't submitting their forms. The most obvious would be they haven't yet done their 2023 accounting, but it could also mean they are currently being audited by the IRS. Personally, I think it's the latter, given how many people reported the charity
I'm not sure if
after
that's
the
how they
scandal
would
broke. Another
list
piece of
it.
evidence to support the fact that they are being audited is that it does appear they have already done their 2023 accounting. So there doesn't seem to be any other legitimate reason.
I mean, I've been
not to
audited,
file.
and I
We
don't know if
they've
that's
done
what
their
they
2023 accounting
put
because
my
as part of
account
their
as when I was
2024
audited or
annual
not.
charity registration to the Office of the Attorney General, they needed to state their revenue and expenses for the previous year, which they did. And this is where things get very interesting. This form doesn't give us any breakdown like the IRS tax forms would, but it does give us a few basic figures. It says that in 2023, the Open Hand Foundation raised $155,000. This is significant because it's by far the most revenue the organization has ever reported in a single year. The previous highest total was back in 2021, when they raised $136,000, but that was under very different circumstances, so let's compare. In 2021, Gerard's fundraiser Indieland received $113,000 in donations just through Tiltify alone. The charity also received a $25,000 grant from Jamie Lee Curtis's charity, Syzygy. Just these two income sources alone already amount to more than the $136,000 they reported, which means all of the bits, subs, merch sales, and all of the golf charity money simply vanished. Gerard's company or his family just took the rest. And this pattern of money vanishing continued from the years 2019 all the way through to 2022, a total of 4 years. And the money that went missing probably totaled several $100,000. But in 2023, after the public realized Gerard's family was stealing money, suddenly everything changed. In 2023, Indieland only raised $64,000 in donations through Tiltify.
Still way too much.
$50,000 less than in 2021. And
Still
yet,
too much.
magically, 2023 was the Open Hand Foundation's best year ever, raising $20,000 more than they did in 2021. It is a miracle. By the grace of God, the Khalil family has finally learned how to properly report their income. It's amazing. We already knew that Gerard and his company were stealing money before, but this most recent accounting is just the nail in the coffin. It is so brazenly obvious that once they were exposed, they decided it would be unwise to continue skimming off the top. And as
all
a
that
result,
does is make it
despite
that
last
much
year
more
being
obvious
one of
that you
Indieland's
were
worst performing years ever
scamming
by
before.
far, the Open Hand Foundation was more profitable than it's ever been. Another interesting thing about this form is that it shows the Open Hand Foundation is still holding on to $200,000. And this is before their 2024 golf charity event, where they would have collected even more in donations. Why are they still keeping this money? One thing I've come to realize is that while Gerard may have been very concerned with his public image, his family, specifically his brother and father, couldn't care less. This is why back in May they continued running their golf charity tournament as if nothing ever happened. If you look at the Open Hands website now,
I wonder like how
Indieland has been
involved with it they
removed as one
were,
of the
and maybe
charity
that's why they
events,
didn't change
leaving
what they were
only the
doing.
golf tournament. And the golf event was never something that Gerard was a part of organizing. And it's why the Open Hand Foundation now feels comfortable going back to hoarding donations, because the public backlash that was originally directed at Gerard now has nowhere to go. When the Open Hand Foundation made their $600,000 donation after the story initially broke, they still had $200,000 sitting in the bank. And this is only from the reported income. As I said before, I suspect Gerard's family has siphoned hundreds of thousands of dollars out of the charity over the years. But I can't think of a single good reason why they still need to keep $200,000 in the bank, when their expenses average around $10,000 to $15,000 per year. And literally the only purpose of the charity is to be a middleman between Good Samaritans and charities that actually do dementia research. As I said before, the lack of filing to the IRS is a pretty good indication the charity is now under investigation. And I really do hope this is the case. But the IRS isn't the only thing Gerard now has to worry about, because Gerard's company, That One Video Entertainment, has just lost a huge lawsuit.
There we go. That's the part I want to hear about.
That One Video Entertainment LLC is the company that Gerard created in 2012 that all of his business activities fall under, including all of his YouTube channels and his charity event, Indieland. I will be calling it Tove for short. On Gerard's LinkedIn page, he states he is the owner, president, and CEO of Tove. And in April of 2023, Tove sued GTA Online's most well-known role-playing server, NoPixel.
What for?
NoPixel is owned by Coil Content Creation Proprietary Limited, which was started by a fellow Aussie, Mitchell Clout, otherwise known online as Coil. If you follow The Completionist, but don't follow GTA Online role-playing, you've probably never heard of this lawsuit. And even
No,
if you
I haven't.
have, you probably have the wrong idea about who is suing who. And that's because the
Try.
reporting on this lawsuit has been abysmal and full of misinformation. It all started in May 2023, when a user
That's what I want. I want
posted
the breakdown of
lawsuit
it.
to Reddit, claiming that DW was suing NoPixel. DW was a developer that worked for NoPixel for several years, but he and NoPixel's owner Coil had a falling out in December
Fucking
of 2022, and DW ended his relationship with the server.
I wasn't expecting
The
the guy to
day
just be
after this
camping in the
viral
corner.
Reddit post, Dexerto signal boosted the story with the headline, "Former GTA RP NoPixel server dev DW is suing owner Coil for considerable sum." However, this was all completely false. It wasn't DW that was suing NoPixel, it was the completionist company, Tove. It literally says who the parties are on the first page of the lawsuit. I
Womp
don't
womp.
understand how everyone got this wrong. Tove's lawsuit asserted that because DW developed some code for the NoPixel servers and DW was an employee of Tove, this meant that Tove owned the code that DW developed, and thus Tove should own half of NoPixel. But this entire lawsuit was a shakedown and an extortion attempt from day one. It was all bullshit. We are talking Billy Mitchell levels of frivolous. Everything about this lawsuit was a lie, and it's going to take a separate and quite lengthy video to cover everything in detail. But if you
please
thought
make
that
that video.
charity was the only scam that Gerard and his company were pulling, you couldn't be more wrong. Needless to say, this lawsuit never made it to trial. In October, the judge ruled in favor of NoPixel, and now NoPixel is seeking attorney's fees of $233,000.
That explains
And
why I
they're
needed the
probably going
$200,000.
to get it. Unlike most other lawsuits in America, when you sue specifically for copyright infringement, it's actually built right into the statute that you can get attorney's fees if you win. And because Tove's lawsuit was so frivolous,
what is it
and
you
the
think that
judge
they
didn't
stole
even
from
see a
you?
need to go to trial before
What
ruling in
copyright is it you
NoPixel's
think they
favor,
infringed on? I
Tove
wanna
is
hear the
probably going
details.
to have to pay up big time. As soon as the judge makes a ruling on the motion for attorney's fees, I will do a full breakdown of this lawsuit, because it really proves that Gerard's shady behavior surrounding his charity was not an isolated event. Until then, thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you.
Alright, so we're going to be looking forward to that video, because I want to see... I want to see the details of that lawsuit. I'm more interested in that than the charity thing. Like, I kind of get the gist of the charity thing. Completionist owned and operated a charity that he then skimmed money off the top from, or rather, all of the money from, because he wasn't just skimming from the top. He was just taking all of the money. They were just stealing the money. They were supposed to act... I mean, the whole charity itself sounded like a scam just in concept. Because they were supposed to act as a middleman between viewers of The Completionist and charities that specifically dealt in that one illness. I forgot what it is, dementia, whatever illness he was supposedly like personally affected by and his family and wanted to do charities for. But yeah, the whole purpose of his charity was to collect the money and then donate it to other charities on behalf of those people. I guess to save them the trouble of having to look up a charity for dementia, but why not just say, hey, why not just recommend the charities yourself in your YouTube videos to all your viewers and then link directly to those charities? Like, why do you need to be a middleman? Like, the whole charity sounded like it had no reason to exist to begin with. So, no shocker that all the money that went into it just went into his pocket. But are we shocked that the guy who's willing to make up a complete fake charity in order to scam people would also like try to sue anyone who... I want to know why he sued NoPixel. I mean, he said copyright infringement, but it sounds like maybe he was trying to silence them for some reason. I'm not sure what the reason would be. Was somebody like role playing as the completionist, or did somebody have the completionist charity in their role play server? And he was his butt hurt about. Like, I want to know the details now. So I hope he makes that video where he goes over the details, because he said it could be a video in itself. Said it could be. Didn't say it would be. I hope it is, because I desperately want that to be a video that I can watch on stream. Oh my god, this fucking guy. Jesus, man, he ran hard. Watch another video here in a minute. That one did not go into as much detail as I did. It all just felt like a teaser for a no pixel video for the lawsuit. Because like you said, most people probably didn't know this lawsuit existed. And I mean, I watched The Completionist, and I like GTA roleplay, but I also didn't know that existed, because I hadn't been keeping up with GTA roleplay like at all. Not since I got banned from the server. Like I said, I got banned from NoPixel for being a redneck pimp who, you know, had a stable of bucktooth whores who may or may not have been autistic. Anyway, how's everybody doing tonight? You guys excited for Christmas? Having a good weekend? I hadn't played on my PlayStation in a while, so you know, I'm doing that now. Showing it a little love. I can go a little louder with this. All right there. Yeah, there we go. Want it loud, but not too loud. And then when I watch a video, I'll turn it down. But okay. All right. All right. That's it. After this match, I'll look up something else. I'm not sure what I want to look up right now. Whoa. Where the hell is all that gunfire coming from? Underneath me. Damn, how much damage can this motherfucker take? I saw over 200 to pop up above his head and he still kept shooting. Alright. Refresh my sword. Ba-ba-ba. That's weird. It wouldn't let me pick up bars a minute ago, and now it is. It was acting like I was full on bars, and now it's not. I don't remember. Yeah, it says I'm full, but it's still letting me pick them up. Huh. Must be glitched. But I'm definitely not full on bars. But I didn't spend any, and then it suddenly let me pick them up again. But it's got the red text on it like I'm full. I didn't read what it said, though. I'll have to look at bars next time I see something. Oh my god. Right. Christmas items, because Christmas. Wow, they really want me to use that sword, don't they? Holy shit. Ah, damn it, I forgot to look at the text. Ah! Why'd you let me forget that? It's not your fault, chat, but I'm blaming you. Alright, let's... Do this so I can run just a little bit faster. Alright. Oh, I thought that was a path. That is not a path. The only thing missing from OG Fortnite is the vehicles. Like, I'm glad it doesn't have the sword and all the anime bullshit in it. So when I want to play with just guns, I'll play OG, but I wish it still had the vehicles. Even if it just had the OG vehicles, like the golf cart. Just something. Something to help me outrun the gas. I almost died in the gas that last game. For, like, no reason. Oh, God. So they just gave up on the mods for the cars, like off-road tires and shit, and now the cars just work like they've got all the mods all the time. You can just plow through things and drive up the sides of mountains. Can't hold more of this item. Picks it up anyway. Yeah. Yeah, it's glitched. Because I definitely can hold a lot more of that item. What's the max? 5,000? I'm at like 1,000 something. Yeah, it's just glitched. It'll keep saying I'm full on things, but then let me pick them up. Fix your game, Epic. Show me where the sprites are at. There's one. I'm the daddy. I'm gonna come sacrifice you at the altar of whatever this is. Come here, bud. Come here, bud. Me and you. I want the splashies back, though. They'll heal me faster than you will. A little Christmas outfit on. Oh! Oh! Ooh. I'm the daddy. All right. There's nothing under here, like I thought there would be. See nobody. Can't hold any more of this item. Fix it up anyway. I gotta quit staring at the ground. It's just, I want to see what's ahead of me, but when I keep the camera like head level like that, I'm having, like, my guy is in the way. I always point it down. I gotta quit doing that. But my aim sucks. I want to see what's in front of me, but my character's body is in the way. I want first person battle royale in Fortnite so bad. It may take, they make a first person mode for battle royale that doesn't have all the anime bullshit in it. I might be done with Call of Duty's battle royale. I'm not a fan of this bloom based third person shit. Got company. Where's he at? Where you at, bud? Where you at, bud? Oh, fuck this. Fuck that guy. Should have used a sword. Complain about the anime bullshit as I use it to win a fight. Yeah, because I have... Like, they're going to have to take that out. It's going to have to be guns only if they do a first-person battle royale, which they should. But they're going to have to take that out. Like, I don't know how you would even begin to make something like this sword work in first person without making someone, like, motion sick. Jesus Christ, you're all over the place when you use that stuff. I don't know how this crazy motion bullshit would even work in first person, which is why I'm excited about that mode. Which is why they should make that mode. Because it'll be a battle royale that doesn't have all that crazy bullshit in it. At the train? Nope, that's a island spawning that I don't want to go to. Thought I heard something, but alas, I did not. Oh, I already came in here. What did it mark? Oh, the island. I was like, I didn't mark that, and I'm playing solos. But where'd that mark come from? Okay, just jump on down, even though I didn't tell you to. Oni shotgun. What the fuck, train? Why are you stopping? Oh, they made it so you can't just sit here and be safe. Oh, fuck. You just drove me into the gas, you dumbass. I finally get on the train. And then I'll get to enjoy it. I've been here. Well. Didn't quite unlock before it went into the gas. So, fuck. We missed that. Oh, well. These two morons. Look at that one moron. Oh my god. Fucking sharpshooter with this thing today. Ripping and tearing over here. Do I go for it? Nope. You get to live for the time being. What this guy have? Nothing I don't already have. What do we got here? Oh, fuck. Well, so much for my sharpshooter days. Fucking damn it, you piece of shit. Damn it! Oh, god damn it. That was this guy. Alright. So that glitch still works, and it is fucking evil. Holy shit. The guy up on the hill shooting at me, wasn't there? Damn it. Alright. There's a glitch with the pickaxe in the vehicle. If you hold down, you're swinging your pickaxe when you get in the vehicle and you just continue to hold down the pickaxe, hold down the swing button, you'll keep damaging the driver even though you're in the vehicle and not swinging the pickaxe. And it took him a minute to figure out what was happening. If he wasn't at full health, I would have killed him. But he waited till his shield was broke to finally jump out. Jake Weddle has lost it. Alright, Jake Weddle.
Hello, my name is Tom, and today we're going to be talking about a guy named Jake. Not Jake Doolittle, it's Jake Weddle, and this guy is a comedian.
Is he? Is he? Oh my god.
But if you've ever heard about Jake Weddle, you probably don't know him from his status as a comedian. Instead, you probably know him because of Mr. Beast. He was featured in a video by Dogpack404 where he gave testimony on how Mr. Beast had apparently subjected him to a Russian sleep experiment.
Yeah, he's a goofy dude.
Torture experiment thing video, and it did not.
So the funny part is, he's supposed to be doing this. He's supposed to be doing this fucking solitary confinement challenge, and I think he lasted like 11 days, and it gave him mental trauma and drove him wild, like drove him insane. He couldn't take it. Meanwhile, his actual dad is in prison as a sex offender and doing solitary confinement for free, for no money. And you should have been able to handle it, Jake. So I'm saying it runs in the family. Like, your dad is doing solitary confinement professionally for free as a punishment for, you know, his sex offending. And here you couldn't last 2 weeks for a large sum of money. Pussy. Your dad will probably disown you when he finds out.
Not go that well for him. Now, at the time, a lot of people felt a lot of sympathy for Mr. Weddle and his
I did not.
But
I was not one of those people.
As the Mr. Beast controversy has died down and Jake Weddle has fallen into obscurity, there's been kind of a souring in the positive public image of Jake Weddle. A lot of people hate this guy, and today I want to find out why. It's kind of a cautionary tale
not hard.
on how to handle online attention.
He's got a very
criticism
punchable face.
and hatred and being made fun of, and I think that we're going to learn a lot. Now, Jake Weddle, as I said, is a self-described comedian hailing from North Carolina with ties to Mr. Beast's YouTube projects. His website credits him as Mr. Beast's head writer, and he appeared in a few videos as well. But as I said, his reputation doesn't really rest on his...
What's my workout routine? It's nothing major. Like, it's not that hard. Like, once you get in shape, I'd say for most people, the hard part is getting into shape. Once you're in shape, like, maintaining it's pretty easy. So, I mean, one, I got good genes, but, like, this obviously doesn't maintain itself. I do have a workout routine. I do sit-ups every morning, so I get up in bed. I'll sit up, like everyone does, sit up in the morning. Just lay back down and then do that process about 20 times or so. So, sit up, do about 20 sit-ups a day. I'm pretty active at my job. Spend all day on my feet, so I'm walking around there. So I get plenty of cardio. And then before I go to bed at night, I usually do, 10 to 15 push-ups. So sit-ups, push-ups, just stuff I can do around the house. Sometimes I'll do some pull-ups. Take my kids to the park. While they're playing, I may jump on the monkey bars at the kids' park and do a quick 10, 15, 20, whatever I'm in the mood for, whatever I got the energy for. Just do stuff every day. Just do stuff. Always find little times to work out, because everybody always uses the excuse of, oh, I don't have the time to go to the gym, or I don't have the. You don't need to go to a fucking gym. You don't, like, if all you're trying to do is just stay toned, like if you're not trying to get buff, you're just trying to lose weight or stay skinny, stay healthy, whatever the case may be. It's just little times throughout the day. If you got 10 minutes before bed, you can do 10 push-ups. You know, it's a lot of stuff you can just do from home. You're at the park with your kids, you see some monkey bars, you can do 10 quick pull-ups, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's just maintaining. It's just having good habits and a good routine. Plus, I have sex a lot, so you know, I'm like, I fuck, and that'll keep you in shape too. You know, told my wife it's for my health. You know, so we have sex all the time, or just jerk off. You know, work on that forearm strength. All I'm saying is always have a way to stay in shape. Always be active. Sex does definitely help. So does jerking off. Like, you don't have to just use your arm. There's a lot of ways you can jerk off. Get yourself one of them dolls, you know. Oh, I'm about to kill this guy and then I'll start my video back. Hold on. Give me that. This motherfucker about to go at it. Oh, you gonna die, motherfucker. How am I missing? I'm not very good with a controller. Holy shit. Oh, he hadn't even picked up a gun yet. How did you not pick up a gun yet? We've been... Hold on. Like, we've been at this for a while. Alright. Okay. Alright. Anyway, we'll go back and get into this. It's a good way to work out, to jerk off and get a good workout. I mean, obviously, just using your arm, get some arm strength. But you know, if you're trying to get like the full body workout from it, you know, maybe try to switch hands and gain a stroke. I can do that. It's a talent. Or maybe, you know, instead of moving your arm, move your body. Just hold your hand still. Move your body. Just get creative, you know? If you're a gooner like me, you found a ton of ways to goon. And you're always coming up with new and creative ways to goon. You can probably Google it, too. The whole gooner community out there for you. Probably a Discord you can join. Or, you know, like a Reddit. They got everything on Reddit.
Comedic chops. Instead, it rests on the fact that he was in part 2 of Dogpack's expose series on Mr. Beast. Dogpack 404, of course, being a very disgruntled employee who had a lot of problems with Mr. Beast and wanted to expose him. Now, I've discussed this video before. A lot of you have probably heard about it either from Dogpack's original video or from all of the commentary channels who talked about it at the time. But in this video, Jake gave testimony as a former employee who had a less than positive experience working there. At one point, Jake even claims that he was set up to become the sort of fourth banana. He thought he was going to become one of the stars of the Mr. Beast YouTube channel, but instead he had a less than positive experience working there.
Oh, can you cry more? Oh, it's so good for the camera if you could. Oh, it made me uncomfortable that I was working there, and I didn't like it, and I vocalized it.
Both of these guys scream clout chaser.
As much as they said I was going to be. I was told at one point.
They didn't put me on camera as much.
You know, it was going to be Jimmy, Chris, Chandler, me, you know?
You see, at some point, Jake Weddle became dissatisfied with what he was being paid. And as a result, he demanded a higher salary, threatening to quit if he didn't get that. But unfortunately, he kind of overplayed his hand here, and because he wasn't as critical of a figure at the company as he may have thought he was, according to him, they opted to just fire him instead. Now, there are a few schools of thought on this. Some people think that it was cruel for him to be fired, and instead he should have just been given a raise. I mean, Mr. Beast has so much money, right? But others think that this is not some kind of shocking development. They would contend that this is just kind of how things go when someone with very little leverage tries to negotiate.
Toxic employee like that.
Quit. And it's important
we don't negotiate with terrorists.
Acting alone. He had another employee in on this entire thing with him where they were going to demand better pay, and ultimately they were both fired. So some people think this might have been interpreted as some attempt to unionize. Although the idea that Mr. Beast fired 2 people because
two disgruntled employees
being formed is kind of, it's a little silly. I admit. I will say, whatever side you fall on here, it definitely was not a winning strategy.
What's my definition of gooning?
Yourself and one other employee.
What do you mean? What's my definition of gooning? Are you not a gooner? Do you not know how gooning works? You know? You should just Google Goonin. Not Goonies. Just Gooning.
And say, we're going to quit unless you pay us more. Didn't really have the leverage. But regardless of them being fired, they still both received severance packages as a little parting gift. And you would think this would be the end of his time at Mr.
That's
Beast.
way
but it
more
actually
generous
was
than any of
not,
my
because a
jobs
little
have ever
while
been
later,
toward
he was
me.
apparently contacted by Mr. Beast's team and asked to take part in a challenge for a video. A video that would ultimately become a solitary confinement challenge where he was in one room and he couldn't leave, and that was the video. But according to Jake, the details of this challenge were kind of misrepresented.
What do you mean you're not a gooner? What do you mean you're not a gooner? You're on a goonin website right now. You're at a goonin website right now. It's like being in a gun store and saying you don't believe in the Second Amendment. I'm not a Republican, but I just like guns. Oh, shut up.
To him before he got there.
The pitch is 100 days in solitary confinement. But don't worry, like you only have to last like 30. We have like a video. They're pitching it like at first it's gonna be like a luxury vacation. You're gonna have like a hot tub and an ice cream machine, and like part of the video is gonna be you deciding like what items am I gonna get rid of, today, and it's like the choice.
Now, the proposition for this challenge was that Jake would be paid $10,000 every single day that he completed it. Meaning if he did it for 5 days, he'd get 50 grand. If he did it for 10 days, he'd get 100. If he did it for 30, he would get $300,000.
I would stay there
which
until
is definitely a good
I was a
payday, no
millionaire.
matter how you look at it. So
Jesus.
it's obvious to me why.
How
Jake
did you
wanted
only
to
last
take it on.
11 days,
And,
dude?
by the end of it, after 30 days, you're gonna get $300,000.
Oh, 30 was the max?
Because
Damn, that
it's $10,000 a day. And I don't know, man. I grew up poor in North Carolina. I said, excuse me? I'll dance for you if you put that kind of money in my face, sure. They were like, you're going to be locked in this room, and we got to make sure you're on all the time. We're going to have cameras on you all the time, and you're perfect for this because you never shut the fuck up.
So Jake takes on the challenge, but it didn't end up going as well as he thought it would. And there's a lot of grievances he lists, the kind of obvious ones being that the psychological toll of being stuck in a room like this is something that is, potentially very bad for you. And a lot of people took that very seriously. And even I sympathize with him for that. Regardless of the pay, it still
nope,
sucks to be stuck in
do
one
not
room with
sympathize.
the lights turned on at all times.
Are you
It's hard to
kidding me?
sleep. You're not going to have a great time there, right? Obviously, regardless if you
I
got
would
paid or
very
not, you still
happily do
express
that
some sympathy
challenge.
for that. But his other grievances with it range from there being like an unpleasant odor in the room, the hot tub not being warm enough, and then the ice cream machine being too loud. There's kind of a gradient of complaints here. Where, some of them matter more, and some of them are like, whatever. But he is talking about his experience, so he has a right to say what he wants.
And at first it's fine. And they had just freshly painted the set. You could smell it, which that's probably not good. The smell of fresh paint in your surroundings for the next XYZ time. It looked good on the visual. It looks good on
How
the
did
camera.
he not
it's
handle
movie
this?
magic
Oh
bullshit.
my God.
It was a terrible facility. He was in one of the...
Mr. Beast, if you stumble across this YouTube video or if you're watching my live stream right now, give me the challenge. I'm ready. Put me in, coach. I'll stay there 30 days, 50 days, 100 days. I'll stay there all the days. You give me $10,000 a day, I'm not leaving until I'm a millionaire. And you don't have to give me a hot tub or a pool table or any of that bullshit. You can put me in a padded room and just turn the cameras off for like an hour a day. I mean, I'm a man. I do have needs, but some way to entertain myself. I'm gonna jerk off, is what I'm saying. But as long as I can do that, you don't have to give me any other form of entertainment. Just put me in there. I'll stay in there for 365 days. I'll do a whole fucking year. Let's go. I want to be a millionaire.
The studios, they had to get a separate tank
Fuck
for
this pussy.
Septic stuff. There was a hot tub in it. Yeah, there was an ice cream machine. Things were cool and funny on paper, but when you think about stuff,
Sounds pretty great to me.
a hot tub that's not connected to a filtration system, give it 3 days, it's gonna stink.
Who cares?
There's not a hot water mechanism, so the hot tub was a lukewarm tub at best, which was a silly complaint, but the shower was always cold. And you take a quick shower.
Don't care.
And
None of this sounds like a way to.
On me. And the ice cream machine. Let's talk about that for a second. The ice cream machine has
You got an ice cream machine.
on, and off, reeking of smelly dairy mildew. So I got to choose which sense was assaulted at a time.
But one of his standout complaints was about the lights being left on and not having access to a clock, so he didn't know what time
Don't
it
care.
was, which
Don't care.
definitely
Don't
sucks.
care.
But interestingly,
it sucks,
he
but
even
don't
went so
care.
far as to accuse Mr. Beast
None of that would
committing
stop
a
me from
war
getting
crime against him.
$10,000 a day.
Or Mr. Beast's greatest op, his greatest enemy, he was clearly very amused at this prospect, and as a result, he ended up flashing a text box pointing out that sleep deprivation is classified as a war crime.
And I go up to my friend, my good friend.
Oh, fuck this guy so much.
I go, they're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime.
No, it's not.
We're not allowed to do that to terrorists. Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing.
Now, if you want my
thinks
opinion,
he's funnier
I do think
than
this
he is.
challenge for Mr. Beast overall was
In case
a
you're
bad
wondering what
idea,
that-
and I
what
do
that
have sympathy
was,
for
he was
Jake
trying to
because
tell a
regardless
joke.
of if he got paid,
Remember,
this still
he
sucks.
fancies
But at the
himself a
same time,
comedian.
leaving the lights on hardly qualifies as a war crime.
It
And
does not.
typically, war criminals also are not going to offer you $10,000 a day to stay in a room. You're not going to be able to leave at any point.
I'll stay in a
time. So
room
the
with lights on.
comparison is,
I don't care.
It's a dumb comparison. But maybe
Yeah,
you could
this-
say
this
he was
is-
just
this is-
phrasing this
Jesus.
in a comedic manner rather than a
Yeah,
serious
he
one.
was
This is
trying
not
to
a
be
serious
funny.
accusation. But I would argue that using this in a big exposed video that was going to be seen by millions of people
Yeah, time and
is a
place,
little bit
dumbass.
disingenuous, because obviously we know how people are going to take it, especially at the height of the Mr. Beast controversy. And also, I just don't think that Jake was using it in a comedic manner. He was definitely serious. But regardless, Jake talked a lot about the psychological effects from this, and it was something a lot of people sympathized with. In fact, he claimed that this challenge actually contributed to his insomnia. And at the time, a lot of people did buy that. But since then, many have
Pussy.
come to the conclusion that Jake might have been being a little bit dishonest here. And the reason why is because he was posting about sleep issues as far back as 2020, while the challenge took
Womp
place in
womp.
2021. Now, maybe the issues he was describing earlier on.
Do people
were more
forget
common
that they
sleep
post
issues,
things? Like,
and
is that
the
what
actual
happened?
Insomnia, if that's what it is, was caused by the challenge. That could be the case. Maybe before he wasn't really talking in a clinical sense. He was just like, I have trouble sleeping. I have a bad sleep schedule. And after he's talking about how
You're giving him
psychologically this
way too
affected
much
him,
benefit of the
that,
doubt,
could
Tom.
be the case. But this is
Way
one of the
too
first
much.
things people pointed out is like, how honest is Jake being
baby.
here? Is he exaggerating these claims? Did this really give him insomnia, or is he playing this up? Now, at
He's
one point
playing
in the
it up.
Dogpack video,
He's
Jake
definitely
recalls how
playing it up.
apparently Jimmy had entered the room when he was doing the challenge with a bunch of cash, and he proposed to him that he do a treadmill challenge. Jake's
Ooh.
claim is that he basically had no
Yeah,
real
and if
choice
you're
in
gonna
this
keep
matter.
giving
He
me
could not
shit to
decline.
do
And a
to
lot of
keep
people
from
took
getting
issue
bored
with
in
this
my
idea that
solitary
he could
confinement
never
to up
decline
the ante
because
and get more
obviously
money?
It is a voluntary choice whether he does the
Seriously, Mr. Beast. Bring me on. I will be entertaining. I will do your challenge. I will stay in that room as long as you want me to, especially if you're going to keep noticing that I'm bored because you put me in a room with no entertainment. Seriously, you don't have to give me the pool table or the hot tub or any of the extra bullshit. You can just put me in a room. I'm fine. I will stay in there as long as needed to become a millionaire. And if you want to, keep me entertained with random challenges that I could do to make even more money, bring it on. Or what? You want me to you want me to do push-ups? You want me to do whatever the thing is you just said that he was gonna do? Yeah, whatever. I'll do it. I'll do it all. I'll suck your dick, Mr. Beast. Just give me $1 million. I want $1 million.
treadmill or not. He could just stay in the room and not do the treadmill. And the entire challenge, of course, was technically voluntary. He could have opted out at any point in time and still kept the money for the days he had already completed. But he goes on to describe running on the treadmill for hours, getting blisters on his
treadmill.
feet, and
I'll do
eventually
it.
telling
Oh
the
my
team
God.
that he was done with it. That was like the breaking point for him. He was done with this challenge overall.
Oh my
So
God. So
I
the optional
wanted to be a
part
good
was the
sport,
part that
and I
broke you.
wanted to
The part you could have said no
boost, and I
to.
wanted the cash.
Fuck this
and so
guy.
I start running at 12. Yeah, I was able to take some breaks, and I asked him, how long do I have? He goes, until I get back. And I'm running until 3 a.m. When I got off the treadmill, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid.
Are you
I
gonna
got off the
cry?
treadmill, and then the people that came in to like ice my feet, make sure I was good.
Oh fuck, he's gonna cry.
Then that's when I was like, I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.
Now, Jake was eventually paid out for this
Listen.
challenge. He was given $110,000.
And still got paid.
But he seemingly felt like this was not enough money for what he went through.
Oh
and on
my
top of that, he also
God.
complained about the fact that
I
he had
hate
to pay
this guy.
taxes on this. And I remember seeing this and
I hate
feeling a
this
little
guy.
bit like weirded out by it, because at the end of the day, did he go through something potentially very bad? And do I feel a little sympathy for him? Yes, of course. But to
I
me,
do not.
complaining about the fact that you got $100,000,
I do
which,
not.
to be clear, is double what the average
yeah.
household in the
I
United
do.
States makes in an entire calendar year.
what the
And he
tip
got it in
button is
just
for.
11 days. I mean, taxes are
Feel
going to
free
come
to
with
use
the
it.
territory. To complain about the amount of money you got seems silly. Now, despite a few inconsistencies and some problems with his retelling, I do think that Jake is ultimately telling the truth here for the most part. His tears do seem genuine, and I have no reason to doubt that the events he described actually happened and probably mentally affected him. If he had been making things up, the claims probably would have been far more sensational. But once
Damn.
again, we kind of have to discuss two schools of
Where the hell did
thought
that come
around
from?
this issue and how public perception was at the time. The main perspective of this was basically Mr. Beast is a really effed up guy for doing this. And the reason for that comes in the form of the ethics of Mr.
It was
Beast
all
doing this challenge
optional.
in the first
You
place. The
agreed
idea
to
that
all
any
of it.
normal
You could have
person in
said
a
no.
moderate or poor financial situation would have a hard time saying no to these challenges because of how much money Mr. Beast was promising is a very convincing argument. Right?
Oh,
And of
not
course, it is
really.
kind of hard to say no to life-changing money like that, even if the consequences could ultimately be poor for your health in the long run.
still
But
get
then
money
there
for
is the
leaving
other
early, though.
perspective. Sure,
Jesus.
the challenge does not sound like a leisurely stroll, but a lot of people felt that his dramatic reactions felt somewhat exaggerated. We can't forget the
Yeah.
fact that he did walk away from
Right
this
here.
with $110,000 for 11 days. Even after taxes, he still pocketed 60 grand. A lot of people contend that for less than 2 weeks of work, that's not really something to complain about. And a lot of
more
people
than-
would point
it's
out
more than
that
most of
after
those people
appearing
make in a year.
Dogpack's interview, Jake would later admit in interviews
So
that the
fuck you.
challenges were in fact not mandatory, and he technically could have left. He did not have to be there, and there wasn't really any real pressure for him necessarily to be there because he was not a Mr. Beast employee at this point in time. He was just a guy on his own. He didn't risk being fired or kicked out or anything like
Yep.
that, right?
It was
It was
all
just an
optional.
offer from Mr. Beast saying, hey, why don't you be in my challenge video? I'll pay you a lot of money.
When making these allegations or talking about the situation, your wording is very important, and how specific the wording is.
I agree.
Is
I
very,
agree.
very important.
Yes.
So, for example, there'd
I
be a
agree.
huge difference if Mr. Beast told you outright, "No, you have to do this," or you felt like pressured into doing it. So, like when
Well,
I
yeah,
ask you,
because
were
then it'd be
these
a crime.
manda-
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I guess I want clarification on that because I feel like you're answering some of these in
Yep.
like blatant no's.
Excuse
So
me.
I just want to clarify that. So were these marathons or challenges mandatory?
Again,
Nope.
I'm gonna say technically no, but all the points I made in the video about why I was pressured to do so still are aggressively valid, and I feel like saying, well, he technically had the ability to leave. Technically, yes. I want to keep using the word technically. That's what technically means. This wasn't a crime.
So I think that your perception on this issue is going to kind of
Oh,
fall on where you
God.
feel about personal responsibility and the position that Jake was in
Yeah,
to
fuck
decline
this
this
guy.
challenge. Was it unethical for Mr. Beast to offer this challenge in the first place? And in the case of Jake Weddle, how much responsibility should he face for agreeing to this challenge at all? Now, besides
All
all
of
that,
it.
there are other
All
things
of the
that people took as
responsibility.
reasons to just not like Jake personally. For example, the fact that after complaining about having to pay taxes, he talks about how he somehow managed to spend all of the money from this challenge on his stand-up career.
I spent
That went nowhere.
$44,000 in taxes alone. And now I spent all that money on doing stand-up.
And how did that work out for you?
Plane tickets to go do comedy festivals,
I'm going to make the argument here that if you spend $50,000 on your stand-up career before it even starts, you might just not be that good at comedy. Typically, the idea behind building any kind of business in the entertainment world is you start out typically doing it for free, so you are kind of technically losing money by not dedicating that time to something you can make money on, but over time, as you get better at that skill, you'll start making money from it. The idea of investing 50 grand into a comedy career that hasn't even started is definitely kind of silly. Like, why are you paying to go to comedy conventions before you're even good at stand-up? Another point of contention is that Jake kind of falls into the whole type of guy thing, the bread tuber archetype, and that is another thing, to be honest, that when I first saw him, I was like, you know,
The word
he is
for
that
that
kind of
is
guy. But that's not
pussy.
a very good
The
argument.
man's
That's
a
just kind
pussy.
of whatever. That's just like a personal, like, you know, cringe, but it doesn't really matter. Now, there's another thing from Jake's original interview with Dogpack, as well as his content in general, that I have neglected to mention, so you're just gonna have to stay with me here on this one, but he often brings up the fact that his dad is a convicted pedophile. And obviously, he can
Yep.
talk about that all he wants. I'm not, like, using that as a point against him or anything. This is his story to discuss. He can talk about it whenever he wants. But the problem, in my opinion, is that when this controversy was going on, it was also at the peak of the claims about Delaware, the convicted RSO that Mr. Beast had hired. There were also the claims of Chris Tyson, and Mr. Beast knowing all about Chris Tyson. That idea was being pushed a lot, the idea that Mr. Beast knew about these
Oh my
weird
God.
DMs. And Jake was very
What is-
clearly
what is
wrapped
this
up
pain?
in the idea at the time that Mr. Beast knew he hired Delaware and knew that he was some kind of offender, and also wrapped up in the idea that Mr. Beast 1000% knew that Chris Tyson was creeping on the youngins, right? He knew that Chris Tyson was a gooner. And so amidst all of this, Jake went on to compare Mr. Breast to his father, Nathan Weddle, on like 3 separate occasions.
My dad was just like a swim coach, neighborhood swim team. Everybody loved it. Behind closed doors, he's a real piece of shit. And so when stuff starts hitting the fan, what? Him? No. Surely. But then the news broke, that he did what he did to one of the students of the team. But I wasn't surprised. And it was just consequences happening to somebody who was really good at avoiding them for a long time. And I don't know, everybody loves Jimmy. And behind closed doors, he is not super great.
Oh my
Accusing
God.
Jimmy.
Fuck this guy so much. You're using your dad's crimes with a minor. His child enjoyment, if you will. to say that he's a piece of shit and then immediately go, well, he was a piece of shit behind closed doors, so I'm not surprised that Jimmy was. Like you're putting Mr. Beast in the same boat as that because he didn't pay the taxes on winnings he gave you to a challenge you agreed to do that you didn't like, that you found to be too challenging. Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy so much.
Of being a pedophile, but there's
No,
a lot
for
of
sure,
pedophile
but you can-
adjacent accusations happening.
Well,
So yeah.
Well, yeah, that last part of your sentence is kind of the reason why I feel like it's justified to go at your approach here. I mean,
Jesus.
you kind of are like alluding towards certain things about Mr. Beast by comparing him to your dad,
look,
and then you're talking about other
Very,
things
very
Mr. Beast is
least,
related.
we
You know what I
definitely
mean?
Probably knew about those Discord chats and covered them up. That's at the very least we can say is probably maybe true, right? So Ava was confirmed in those Discord chats. Delaware is a confirmed sex offender that worked at the place. And I was just saying a personal story. I would talk about what my dad was like.
Oh, I'm
They'd be
just
like,
saying a
"What, that guy?
personal
No
story.
way,"
You
know?
knew
And it
the
wasn't
context
until,
of the story you
news
were saying,
broke
though. Like, you knew why you
and
were
he
saying
did something
that, right?
bad to a kid that people, started changing their attitude, and I got a lot of sorries. I don't know. Just seemed like a relevant story, I guess.
How? How?
Hassan,
How was
keep
that
the
relevant?
family away. Moist, keep the family away.
I don't think you need to be a Mr. Beast
He's not
glazer
funny.
to
He's
understand
not
how this
funny.
is kind of a weird comparison. Like comparing him to an actual creeper guy is probably a bad idea. I get that this is Jake's personal experience with his father, and I think it's fair that he discuss it whenever he wants, but I will say I think that he's kind of wrapping in some of his past trauma and projecting it here onto another situation that's not really the same. But for the time being, that was really all anyone had seen of Jake Weddle. He was in this dog pack video that got 12 million views. Every commentary channel, including myself, was talking about the story and had just been introduced to him, and he was in thumbnails all across YouTube as one of the quote-unquote victims of Mr. Beast. But then something kind of interesting happened. You see, Dogpack had shouted out
thought he
Jake
had found
Weddle's
his
YouTube
15
channel
minutes
in
of
his
fame.
video. So Jake went from being a completely unknown guy with like 500 subscribers to having 200,000 on YouTube. And with that newfound audience, he was kind of in a position to either make or break a YouTube career based on what he did past this point. And so with his appearance in Dogpack's video, that
what
same
did he
day
do with his
uploaded
15
own
minutes?
video titled The Real Reason I Left Mr. Beast. Bigger, longer, uncut. Who else does that describe?
You are gay.
Now in this video, Jake doesn't really share anything new beyond what was already covered in the Dogpack video, but there are a couple of noteworthy
Oh my God,
moments
with
that
the
I think are
vaulting.
worth addressing. Near the end, Jake chooses to call his mom to back up his version of events. Naturally, his mother, because she is his mother, wholeheartedly validates everything he says, because why would she not? But there is a little irony here in that Jake himself says in Dogpack's video that his mom has
God.
no problem lying in these kind of
Damn it.
situations. I think that little detail makes her testimony a little bit more questionable. Like, it's kind of weird that on the same exact day, Jake was interviewed
very
and
good
talked
with the
about
controller.
how
I gotta
bad
do better
Mr.
at this.
Beast was, and in that same video talked about how his mom isn't trustworthy. He then called her in the video on his own channel and like was like, oh, listen to what my mom said. It's kind of
Oh,
odd.
Mom,
God.
I'm about
It's
to
just,
call
it
you about the
overcorrects.
meteor thing. You have no idea? Be surprised. And then I hit send, and then they go, call your mom now. And I call my mom and I tell her, and oh, she should have got the Oscar.
Mom, can you do me a favor?
I can try.
But regardless, this video got over 1 million views. It got a lot more subscribers for Jake. It boosted him.
I'll
Was
call
it a
my mom.
necessary
That'll
upload to
prove
make?
it.
Probably not. But he was capitalizing on the attention, so we'll give him that one, all right? That's a freebie. He's capitalizing on what he's getting. He wanted to give people
He
who
tried.
saw the interview a video to watch on his channel that kind of aligned with that. So now there's this big audience of people. They're all subscribed to Jake Weddle, and they all know him as the Mr. Beast thing. They don't really know anything about him beyond that. They just are subscribing basically out of pity. So he ends up uploading a few more videos, one of them being a response to Jake the Viking, who by the way was the guy who was like criticizing Jimmy all the time. He was like, guys, Jimmy knew about Chris Tyson. And then it turned out that Jake the Viking's own brother-in-law was also the convicted sex offender that Mr.
Womp
Beast had hired.
womp.
And not only that, but Jake testifies that he
You couldn't
personally
write this
knew
shit,
the
man.
entire time. Like Jake knew. Not Jake Weddle, Jake the Viking. He knew. Great job, other
So
Jake.
many
Got, like, the
Jakes.
jacked Jake
Why is it
here,
everyone
the
named
soy
Jake's a
Jake.
piece of
tale
shit?
two Jakes. Mr. Weddle here then
There's
made
any
another
Jakes
video talking
watching
about how
right
he
now,
wrote Mr. Beast
maybe get a
videos
nickname.
and how
I don't
he
know what to
wrote
tell you.
everyone's childhood.
You
But
guys don't
important
have
thing
the,
here is that the views
best
were
track
totally
record. You're
different.
3 for
The video
3 right
about
now.
Jake the Viking got
You're 3-0.
500K. The video about how he wrote all of your childhoods got 90K. So he really needed another banger on his channel to keep this up. So around 2 weeks after the original Dogpack interview, Jake Weddle would release another upload titled I Caught Jimmy in a Secret Recording. And a lot of people saw this and were like, whoa, what's going on here? A secret recording? He has more info on Mr. Beast? So Jake basically lured people in with the idea. He caught him on camera doing something bad, but spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it, he didn't. The so-called recording is actually a deep fake that someone else sent him that he then put in the video. To Jake's credit, he does admit that it's fake, so he's not outright lying.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty damn good AI, wasn't it?
But framing it in this way is undeniably kind of shady clickbait. There's no real recording to reveal here. And I don't really have a problem with clickbait in principle. I'm not really that mad at it. But what this clickbait really shows is that Jake is still kind of relying on the attention from the Mr. Beast thing to get anyone to watch his channel ever. From a content creator perspective, when you get a lot of subscribers for one reason, you're often tempted to just milk that one reason over and over and over. But realistically speaking, this is not going to accrue you an audience of people who actually want to watch you. It's just going to be people
they're
who want
there
to
for
that
that thing.
drama. But beyond the clickbait, there actually was something interesting.
You got to do something to transition them, man.
Jake reveals that Mr.
You got to win them over.
He
didn't do that.
He explains that Jimmy reached out to him privately to apologize for whatever he went through during this challenge. And on top of that, Mr. Beast also offers to pay the remaining balance for the challenge days that Jake did not complete, which is something that Mr. Beast did not necessarily need to do.
No, he didn't
do this. You can make the argument
at all.
He has so much money, he just wanted to look good. He wanted Jake to leak it so he would look
Who
good.
cares?
Like he's giving him
it's still him getting money.
The argument, if you like Mr. Beast, that he was clearly
it's still him getting the thing he said he needed.
Or something. But whatever the case, Jake didn't want to keep this interaction private. He wanted to broadcast it to his YouTube channel and talk about it. And at this point, Jake reenacts his phone call with Jimmy using his comedic skills to detail how Jimmy had offered him $190,000, which would be the remainder of the money he would have gotten if he had completed
which he should have took.
But Jake says that instead he chose to only take $50,000 for moral reasons. He makes a really big show of it and declares that he would never accept all of the money because of his authenticity and he would feel slimy accepting all of it or something. But whether he took part of it or all of it, the moral issue he's presenting is still the same. Either you reject the money or you don't reject it and just take it all. Like, if you're going to take some of the money, it doesn't make you a better person to decline the rest.
Guys,
it doesn't really make sense. Where else
I
is that
only
money
robbed
going? To Africa,
one
to
of the
children in
bank
Africa? No.
So I'm a good person.
So you should just accept all of it. You're not a better person for not accepting it. And the way that Jake views Mr. Beast is very, very negatively. He views him as like some kind of African warlord. You're basically taking blood diamond money here, right? And so it's like, all right, guys, listen, I'm a good person. I'm only going to take $50,000 from the blood diamond guy, not the full amount, all right? Because I'm a good dude. I would feel slimy taking it all. But 50 grand? All right, give me that. Despite pocketing the cash, Jake makes the case that he hates money. But for someone who hates money, he does talk about it a lot.
I've turned down a lot of money before, just because
because you're an idiot.
It's not about. I don't give. I don't care about money.
You
I
should.
think everybody should just be able to eat food and have a house and get medical care. I hate money so much.
Money is how you do that.
My life, I hate it.
You're gonna get $300,000.
He's retarded.
$10,000 a day.
He's retarded.
Excuse me. I'll dance for you if you put that kind of money in my face. Sure.
I gotta make that sweet SEO go burr, son. When I make the SEO go burr, I get money and then I get to eat. I get to live. I get food. Was when you have no money. It's not a choice, is it? So I need that money. If you want to
you do.
donate to me or my Patreon. So if you want to see any of those
But
projects
you don't need money.
Then donate
But
to my
you need
Patreon.
money.
So if you want to prove a point, Patreon and the link below.
He's moral when it suits his
I
narrative.
promise
Fuck this guy.
Now, in terms of Jake's audience, this was overall positively received. A lot of people were like, how gross of Mr. Beast to offer you money as if that fixes what happened. But there were also a lot of smaller commentary channels
What is wrong
who were
with
basically
people?
laughing at him, mocking him for this idea that he's a better person for declining
'Cause
some of
he's
the
not,
cash.
yeah.
And one particular guy that you guys may know,
He's worthy of
Nicholas
mockery.
Iorio, would also stream himself covering the drama and reacting to Jake's Instagram stories.
One of the nukes. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop it. James Warren. Sex work is work. They should be, legalized and regulated so that people in those industries don't get hurt, right?
Agreed.
That's my opinion on that.
I agree with him there.
In those industries, people I used to go to high school with, and, I stayed in touch with, and they can't text me fast enough. When they say, "Hey, do you know this guy, James Warren?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" "Oh, yeah, I worked with him a few times.
Please tell me.
He loves to pay us to be around, and then he likes to show us his bank account and show us how much money he has. People he paid to be around, for that kind of stuff. Which, again, that's fine, but it's weird and cringe to pay those people to be around and then take out your phone and show them how much money you...
Who is...
Why?
Screenshots to prove that? Of course I do.
Do I want to be clear, he just described a sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship. The whole reason the girl is there is for the money. And the way to impress them is to show them how much of it you have. So they know how much they could possibly get if they continue to keep daddy happy. That's the relationship. That's just how that works. He's just describing what a sugar daddy is.
Danger the people who say
endanger them. This isn't even that was a nuke.
those things. No, I do not.
This isn't a nuke.
Because that's what's difficult about this.
I don't think he knows what nuke
people don't
means.
come forward because of you trolls. Everyone is terrified to come forward. Oh, everyone's anonymous. That's because you people are insane. That's why people are anonymous, and that's why he's gotten away with
No, because they're afraid of being
people on the internet.
food retard. Just shut up.
This for so long. It's because of you people who harass people on the internet. That's why this happens, and that's why it continues to happen.
Oh my god.
So if you don't know what you're talking about, shut the fuck up.
But despite the fact
Oh
that
my
Jake
God.
mostly had positive attention on him and Nicholas Diorio is, relatively speaking, a pretty small creator, Jake did not take this well, and it kind of led to a full-on mental breakdown over Instagram. I'm not going to fully read out every single screenshot of it, but there are literally 20 different screenshots of this implosion. And clearly, people making fun of him was really affecting him. Disappearing for a bit, it's been an incredibly difficult few days. As more stuff comes out,
And you want to
the
be
more
a
I'm
famous
subjected to people
comedian?
picking apart my testimony.
What are you gonna do when you get a heckler?
Using my trauma for clout, comments, emails,
Oh my
DMs,
God.
a leaked phone number. My family has been
This
harassed.
guy
And
sucks.
for what? Because I told you guys what happened to me? Because I told you Jimmy hires and protects PDFs? My mental health is at an all-time low, and it's because of you, idiot. Hateful. And
So get therapy. All of this is a you problem. Get fucking therapy. You weak-willed fuck.
I can't stress enough, dumber than dirt trolls. What happened to me is real. You don't get PTSD over nothing. You weren't there. I was. Which makes me more informed. Period. I am the only one who has any authority over this story.
I got PTSD because I got locked in a room with a lukewarm hot tub. Oh, I had a pool table and entertainment that didn't entertain me, and I had to stay in there for $10,000 a day. Oh, the trauma. This guy.
Story. And you either are a child or a sweaty edgelord dipshit. Go freak yourself, go freak yourself, go freak yourself, go freak yourself. Go up to a victim and tell them it's their fault next. Oh,
He's
wait.
schizo
That's exactly
now.
what Jimmy's fans do to...
Did he just compare himself? Okay.
the numerous allegations coming out from employees, contestants, you name it. Regular uploads, ugly duck workshops, podcast streaming, all picking back up next week. My regular uploads are all going to be back next week, but I'm taking some time to get my mental health back, despite Mr. Beast fans doing their best to kill me. But before I go, let me spell it out for you real slow so you can have it spoon-fed to you. Now, this message is kind of funny, but I think it is important to have a little bit of sympathy for Jake here. If his family is being harassed or his phone number...
Wait, why? Why? Why would I have sympathy for this man? He brought it all on himself. All he had to do was stay in a room and get paid. And then take the money offered to him for not doing the challenge to complete the money he would have made and just get paid. And then go do something else with your money. Like, just, you want to be a comedian. Like, you invited all this attention. No sympathy. And you brought your mom into it intentionally on a video. I have sympathy for his mother. She didn't ask for any of this. But my God, it's all your fault. Like, this is all on you, buddy.
Number is leaked. That sucks. That should never have happened. And on top of that, Jake Weddle is relatively new to being a public figure on this scale. He had probably never received any kind of online scrutiny or being made
Doesn't
fun of
matter.
before. And now all of a sudden he's a part of the biggest YouTube controversy of all
This
time.
is what he
I don't
wanted, though.
expect him to act perfect.
This is what he want. No, not act perfect, but you can act better than this. Like, he should have been more mentally prepared than a normal person because he literally wanted this kind of attention. He literally invited it. He literally invited this kind of attention. Blowing up like this is the thing that he wanted to happen to him. And now that he's got it, he wants out. It's a real careful what you wish for situation here. He asked for this. Literally asked for this. He ran from me. So he should have been mentally prepared for the blow up that he wanted.
perfect. But I will say, this in and of itself is just not the way to handle this kind of situation. For example, imagine the amount of death threats that Mr. Beast and all of his employees got for this controversy, which undoubtedly was partially because Jake said a war crime had been committed against him. People shouldn't make super insane comments.
Went both ways, buddy.
Death threats or anything.
Whatever you think happened to you
but at this
was
point,
probably
you kinda
worse
do have
than
to
Mr.
just
Beast.
walk away from the computer. And on top of that, even the actual stuff he says here is insane. I mean, he compares the online hate he got to being a victim of assault. Jake, you were a part of a very ill-informed, ill-advised YouTube challenge that mentally affected you, and I can feel bad for you. But you're not the same as a victim. But he didn't really get the memo on this, unfortunately, and after that, Jake would continue to crash out on Twitter for a while until people started realizing something funny, a bit goofy even, was going on. And this is where the story really gets interesting to me. And it's at this point I have to introduce you to a new character, which is Jake's girlfriend, Lex. Now, Lex was a public figure. She had been trying to stream and get content going for quite a while. She's dating Jake, so obviously there's, you know, a content creation bond tie there, whatever. And people started noticing that it seemed like Jake's girlfriend was using alt accounts on Twitter to defend him in literally every single reply mentioning him. The two had previously streamed themselves reacting to Rosanna Pansina's video with Dogpack404 against Mr. Beast, showcasing what they believed to be CP at the time. For 2 hours, they basically blindly affirmed and agreed with everything presented in the video, and they provided no actual critiques, like of the fact that Rosanna put what she believed to be CP in the thumbnail of that video, or the fact that they called it CP when it actually was not that. But at this point, Jake, his girl, and a few other people like Dogpack were kind of a part of the anti-Mr. Beast squad, and despite the fact that there were some seemingly legitimate criticisms coming out before that point in time, they were kind of running with anything they could get to make the story blow up bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, the edit made it look like she was hiding in a cupboard and she got... Dude, it was the most cancerous criticism ever. And if anything, it kind of only held up more valid criticism of Mr. Beast because people were going, yeah, this is stupid. And now, in everything she's done, she's come forward in this kind of like smug, retarded fashion to act like, oh, I was right, guys. I was right about Mr. Beast.
No, you weren't.
You weren't right about Mr. Beast. All of these people that were talking about the blind shit and saying about how bad it is and how it's pro-capitalism, they weren't right about Mr. Beast, okay? All of these people that have come forward to make their stupid claims about Mr. Beast are not proven correct by what's happened recently. It is a total cancer narrative that I completely reject. You don't get to act like you're right about something because other people come forward with other claims that are nothing to do with what you f***ing said. Unearthed footage of me telling a story I'm very public about and doing a joke I still do on stage. But hey, thanks for plugging my friend's pod and my NC tour. Also, the family of my dad's victims love this episode and my bits about it on stage. F*** you. Is this ninja even funny? He's getting mocked by a 9-person poll. Oh my god, no.
Now, as people started digging further into Twitter replies, they just kind of kept adding up. It seemed like literally whenever anyone uttered the word Jake Weddle, his girlfriend would be there in the comment section defending him. So here we have this guy on Twitter saying this guy is based in my book shitting on Jake Weddle.
You got your mom to defend you in one video,
you can talk to my
and now your
attorney about
girlfriend's
any
defending you
further
on Twitter.
questions. So she's implying legal action or something for being mean to him. Then we have this one of her saying, if only Jimmy didn't blackmail people and record his employees 24/7, maybe they'd feel more comfortable leaving. But when they do, they get slandered by people like you on alt accounts online to high hell. Heart emoji. And she was getting more and more conspiratorial with time. Here she said, lolling at this, knowing Jimmy pays drama and commentary channels to make videos defaming the people speaking out about him. Did you know their internal investigation actually did not contact most of their employees? Time will tell you the things we can't right now. Now, it's important to note that at this point, the narrative around Mr. Beast was changing because Soggy Cereal had recently released his video talking about Dogpack404 and how a lot of the claims that Dogpack made about Mr. Beast were not really true. In fact, the majority of them seemingly were fabricated in retrospect. And so the narrative was changing quite a bit around the entire drama. But after this video came out, Lex was looking for communities that would sympathize with her, and she found that on r/YouTube drama, where she said, thank you for all the support in here. It's refreshing to see people giving honest thoughts and balanced takes on the situation.
When that's the community you go to?
In so many ways, but we're holding strong, and part of it is thanks to you guys. Thank you. And then she attached an image here of her with Jake, which led a lot of people to make fun of him for seemingly using his girlfriend as a shield for any criticism. Now, I will say, to extend a little bit of sympathy here, even once again, these guys have not been public figures.
This man is hiding behind women.
They're not really used to this kind of thing. So Lex probably thinks it's a good idea to go and dispel any claims about Jake and argue with random people on Twitter. But this is a bad idea. First of all, Jake, you should not be letting your girlfriend run around defending you at every single moment possible, spending all day in Twitter replies, especially when some of the stuff she's saying is kind of like not true and she's like kind of threatening legal action. Like, you can speak to my lawyers. That's not a good look. But after all of this went down, Jake and Lex would end up deleting their Twitter, and things would mostly be silent about the pro-Weddle and the anti-Weddle crowd until about 2 weeks later, when something else that's kind of interesting happened. You see, we have to introduce a new character, a YouTuber named Hellbent. And Hellbent would make an interesting video on Weddle titled, "Jake Weddle taught me that he won't shut up about Mr. Beast." Now, the premise itself is that this Hellbent lady essentially had infiltrated Jake's Patreon page, his Patreon comedian course where he's teaching people comedy or something, I don't even know. And in her words, she wanted to see what it was all about, and she wanted to find some funny things about Jake Weddle. She basically frames it right as like, I'm gonna find dirt on Jake Weddle. I will say the premise of this Patreon itself is kind of insane. Like, Jake's trying to get people to give him money so they can talk about jokes and joke theory. Like, why would you pay for that? Not a great value proposition. If there's anyone I want to discuss the theory of comedy with, it's definitely Jake Weddle.
That's right, Patreon members who join with a $3, $5, or $10 subscription, anybody gets access to the code to the Discord that brings us to the Ugly Duck workshops. We talk about jokes, we punch up jokes, people bring jokes, I bring jokes, I am going on tour, I gotta work on my jokes. We talk about comedy theory. Why is that joke funny?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Comedy theory, guys.
If somebody has to
Comedy
explain it to
theory
you,
with Jake
it's not
Weddle.
funny.
Just shoot the shit. And
Isn't
talk
that
about
worth paying for?
We're paying to shoot
They
the
are the
shit with Jake.
highlights of
Oh
my
my
export.
god.
Jake Weddle
He's so
explains the
desperate
joke
for
to
the
you.
money
But
he
Hellbent
doesn't
had
want.
seen that out of about
The money
90
he
different
hates.
patrons, there were about 5 of them that were actually active around
This
the
guy.
chats for comedy theory and the workshop. And after prying
Everybody
a bit
else
more,
is there
she was
for
able
Mr.
to
Beast
get
stuff.
into the exclusive Discord workshop to chill and tell some epic comedy jokes. Now, once again, Hellbent is very forward here about her intentions of obviously finding anything she can about Jake Weddle to kind of make fun of him for. And she says she pretty much expected it to be dog shit, just, you know, stuff to make fun of him for in the first place. It wasn't that serious.
I'd like to clarify my intentions. If you think that I'm a scheming, drama-hungry slop peddler who had malicious intentions going in, you are not wrong. I always expected the workshop to be dog shit in some shape or form, but I thought that if there were any content to be made from infiltrating it, it would probably be me goofing on Weddle for the lack of effort.
But it turns out she found a lot more than just a questionable workshop.
She got her
explains
$3
process of
worth.
Getting to that point by uncovering a few wacky things. Jake's workshop here is what he referred to as a loose format, basically meaning that if nobody brings jokes, they'll just spend an hour that people paid for at a Discord call shooting the shit about nothing. During a call, Jake would even admit that the Patreon itself was shit and he had been lacking due to the Mr. Beast stuff. He didn't really know what to do, but he had some great news. Jake had hired a personal assistant to assist answering Instagram messages from people asking him why he hates
This
money.
is what he spent
There's
that
no
money
reason
on.
to respond to messages from random people. This is not a thing you need to do or should be spending your time doing. And I
Or
don't
money
need
on.
to hire a personal assistant to do that either. Like, that is such a waste of time. But it
And
turns out
retarded.
that this assistant is actually just Jake's girlfriend, which makes a lot more sense. Jake
Yep.
would also tease a future of some banging content he would be releasing, where he said there would be another bombshell relating to Mr. Beast, and that was going to be on Rosanna Pansino's channel. And that is when Hellbent started recording and got a very fat audio conversation with Jake that was illuminating in many ways.
Really excited for the video.
So she cucked us from the content right here. I want you guys to know that. There was a video planned. A third video on Rosina's channel featuring Jake Weddle, where he was going to drop nukes, which would probably be more slanderous lies about Mr. Beast. And he only wants to talk about Mr. Beast on her channel and give her that content if in exchange he got the last 5 minutes of the video to do stand-up. So she would let him do a comedy routine at the end of the video for 5 unfiltered minutes, uninterrupted. Oh my god. That's two big pieces of content that we could have just picked the juicy meats off of. I can only imagine how outlandish whatever new claims they would have made up would have been for the Mr. Beast part, and the cherry on top being the worst stand-up possible to just clown on for 10 minutes, for 5 minutes at the end. Well, it would have been 10 minutes. I would have spent 5 minutes making fun of it. Jesus Christ, I cannot believe that you should have waited until that video came out before you released this, because this would have been the perfect companion piece to it. But then this came out, and they decided not to release that third video. So we don't get to see his shitty stand-up. We don't get to hear his bad, extremely bad, new allegations that he was saving. All of that sweet, sweet content. And now that Mr. Beast is suing Dogpack 404, we're definitely never getting that content, because Jake Weddle's going to be too scared to ever talk about Mr. Beast again, and rightfully so, because you played a part in that slander. And Rosina is probably also going to get sued. I hope that she also gets sued. I hope he doesn't just sue Dogpack, but also her, because she is very much just on board platforming this kid and helping to play a part in his slander. But that's a video for another time. That's another video we can react to, is how this kid is just malicious from start to finish. He only made accusations because he was a disgruntled employee. Like, he just made it all up. He just made it all up. So did Jake.
And I want to make sure it comes out when the and little fun fact, at the end of Rosanna's video, they actually let me do 5 minutes of stand-up.
Yeah, there it is.
In front of everybody that they could gather in Rosanna's studio, and then there's going to be a call to action to my channel as well. So that's both of those videos coming out. It's very, very exciting.
Now that video with the bombshell is probably not going to come out now that Dogpack 404 got dumpstered, and you know, there's been legal action threatened against him in particular, and I'm sure Rosanna Pansino was pretty scared about the prospect of legal action for Mr. Beast. But I will say, just imagining the end of a Mr. Beast exposed video that was like some kind of bombshell, the idea that the end of that would be 5 minutes of Jake Weddle doing stand-up with a call to action to like and subscribe is like, that is funny. I wish we got to see that, kind of. Okay, I do. Yeah, guys, we have proof of Mr. Beast trafficking children to some secret island where he was making them eat Feastables all day. And by the way, here's some wacky stand-up from our friend Jake Weddle. Everyone clap for Jake.
Yeah, it's such a weird way to end that kind of video, too.
Now, at this point, Hellbent apparently decided to confront Jake Weddle over what Rosanna and Dogpack did with their alleged CP that they found exposing Mr. Beast, which was not really CP. The two of these people literally thought they had downloaded illegal content in order to expose Mr. Beast. It's this whole like autism thing. But Jake's response to this is even better, because he says that they are working with the FBI, as if the FBI is at Rosanna's house and they're like hunkered down, like, we're investigating Mr. Beast right now.
After basically Dogpack and, or whatever his name is, Dawson and Rosanna told that they had CP, downloaded it to censor it and reverse search it, and then they're so lucky that it wasn't CP, because otherwise they would have committed a crime.
Oh, I mean, I couldn't disagree with you more. I mean, that would implicate the FBI as well as like, oh, you guys watch CP?
How would that implicate the FBI? They're allowed to watch it. It's part of their investigation. They look at criminal shit all the time. Like how are you supposed to investigate the criminal content that people might make or consume if you're not looking at it yourself? Like, the investigators have to look at that content to verify that it is the content. Like, somebody has to look at the evidence to say what the evidence is in court, you dumb shit. Oh my God. Yeah. The FBI gets a pass on that. They're allowed to look at that in their offices, at work, when they're reviewing evidence for... I hate this guy so much.
Yeah, well, I do think there's a huge difference between people trying to stop files versus people who are being files.
There's a difference between downloading all of the logs and not knowing that's in there, and specifically going out to get that picture and then send it to someone thinking...
Yeah, but Dawson like specifically then got that image from the logs.
Yeah, the FBI are the people who are supposed to look at it.
At the time that was CP, and the difference between him and FBI is that one is the authority that is obligated.
That's why
that is
to the authorities, and it was reported to the authorities long before Rosanna even said that she was reporting it to the authorities. Rosanna's been working with the FBI for quite some time.
Yeah, the point is that they should have reported it and left it
there
and downloaded it, censored.
You're not, just because you're working with the FBI doesn't mean you get to do the illegal thing. It means you're supposed to report the illegal thing and let them look at it.
I don't think everything Rosanna Pansino, the cooking channel, has been doing has an official approval of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. There's going to be a little bit of generalizing here, but when you submit a tip to the FBI, they don't like work hand in hand with you like in a movie. 99% of the time, they'll just not respond, and on the off chance they do use your information, they're not going to be encouraging YouTubers to make public statements about how they're working with them. So either Rosanna lied to Jake, or she had some delusion about the situation and said this to Jake, or Jake is delusional about the idea that she's working with the FBI. There's something going on here. A little bit of a side note here, but this is a common trend with a lot of people. It's like, I'm working with the FBI, I'm working with them, and it's like you sent them an email or something.
Yeah,
like it's not really.
It's not
but
how
Jake
it
seemed to be
works.
under the impression here that the Bureau was closing in on Mr. Beast. It was almost over. Seemingly as some kind of mental justification for like, all right, well, there's a few people giving me hate online right now. They're making fun of me. The controversies died down publicly, but Detective Rosanna is on the case. Now, according to Hellbent, after this interview happened, she had planned on not really posting it at all because she couldn't find a good justification for doing it. In her words, most of the info was already known, which I kind of disagree with. I do think that, you know, some of this is really funny stuff, but all that would change once Soggy Cereals uploaded his video where he exposed Dogpack for a lot of the lies he had told. He criticized Rosanna, he criticized Jake, and I think there is a lot to criticize Soggy for, like the fact that he ultimately was given money by a Mr. Beast employee to fly out there and get some testimony from them. Like, there is a conflict of interest there, undoubtedly there is, but even with the stuff outside of that, there were a lot of points he really got Dogpack on that I think really did a good job of discrediting a lot of the claims he made and showing that Dogpack was not being totally honest with his videos at all. But a few days after Soggy's video dropped, Jake would talk about this in his Patreon chat, where he said, "Hey fellas, just wanted to be transparent with you. With the Soggy video coming out, I have received a massive uptick in online harassment and threats against my life. I apologize for being missing in action, as me and now Lex have had to deal with Twitter and YouTube and Reddit and other various hate accounts targeting us." And I do think this is a better approach to handling this kind of thing. Instead of publicly crashing out about people being mean to you, you're kind of pulling back a little bit and saying, for my own sanity, I'm going to be, not really engaging with this, and that's fair. But at the time, Jake seemed to be very unwilling to acknowledge the fact that Dogpack did screw up a lot of this story, and in fact, he would end up saying, "Now I know what makes the cereal so soggy. Gluck Gluck 9000. So he's basically just completely unwilling to acknowledge that there were a lot of good criticisms made of Dogpack 404, and the story was a lot more complicated than
double
Dogpack
and
was
triple
willing to
down, huh,
admit in his
buddy?
original videos. And at the same time, Lex would go back to Twitter and white knight him again, replying to literally every single tweet mentioning his name and say things to the effect of like, fact checked. Hey, maybe you should ask that Soggy cereal guy why one of his current employees is telling people that
Where did the
Jimmy
bullets
paid for
go?
Soggy's travel for his media tour, which is essentially a nothing burger smear campaign against the people speaking up for victims. Maybe you should also ask why Dogpack actually hasn't been taken to court yet. 2 threatening cease and desist, but it's not defamation if it's true. Jimmy perhaps is afraid of going to Discovery. Also, might want to look into a dude named Gary Pastor. I don't know who that is. Source? Hi there, Lex here, Jake Weddle's partner. And she also made this tweet where she said, I'd say Jake's doing just fine and doesn't give a shit, but who am I to know? Not like I'm his partner or anything. And she posts a picture of them hanging out like, we don't care about any of this, guys. It doesn't bother us.
Why the f would you do this? Why would you post an image like this and be so openly embarrassing and pathetic? Please stop trying to peddle the Weddle. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
What?
He would later go on to write, I had a lot of videos planned and I'm still working on them, but taking care of my safety and mental health has been a priority. Me and Lex are okay and safe, do not worry, but I just wanted to be transparent and show my appreciation for you all. I would not blame anyone for leaving this platform as it's been dry lately, but for those of you who are still here, you mean the world to me. Once this beast bullshit is behind me, content is coming. Now when Hellbent would kind of pry into the situation further and ask Jake for specifics on what he thought would be lies, her messages actually got deleted by a moderator and she would be muted. This mod then said basically, hush little baby, we are not discussing that, which it is his Discord server, so I guess he has a right to do that. But it seems like overall Jake was unwilling to acknowledge that a lot of the claims made about Mr. Beast were not, very good, not very good claims. They also seem to be alluding to this like grand conspiracy where Mr. Beast is silencing everyone from talking about him, when, keep in mind, in retrospect, the only guy he sent a cease and desist to, as far as we know, is Dogpack, and Dogpack had clearly defamed Mr. Beast. Whether you like Mr. Beast or not, that did happen. Now that's about it for Hellbent's video, but a few days later, another weird thing went down. You see, a small streamer named Queeman would get a copy of Jake's stand-up special, and he would react to it online. I'm unsure who exactly leaked it, but I'm gonna guess it was someone who spent $3 on his Patreon so they could download the video. Now, Queeman's stream itself was him basically roasting Jake Weddle stand-up, saying he's unfunny, but unfortunately, I can't show any of it because of what happened a few days later. Jake Weddle has made a delusional post on his Patreon threatening to use Mr. Beast's money to pay lawyers to send me a cease and desist for my tasteful and transformative fair use review of a portion of his new stand-up special. The review featured a limited section of the work, yet the runtime far exceeded the original, featuring numerous rewinds, extensive analysis, and long tangents comparing his comedy to other comedians. Having reviewed the special, I am certain that using his war crime reparations to sue me is a much better use of Jimmy Beast's 100K than perpetuating the cycle of abuse through his stand-up. And obviously at this point, the story got a little bit bigger within the small commentary community. You have some people who are like, okay, well, you leaked his stand-up, that's effed up. You have other people being like, well, he leaked a small portion of it. It's not like he was like making money off the stand-up itself. He was reacting to it and criticizing him. Therefore,
Also fair.
Right. There's kind of 2 different schools of thought once again. But Jake ended up making an announcement on his Patreon saying, I've increased the special to the $10 tier because someone streamed it on Kick. I'm in contact with my lawyers. Everything's been documented and cease and desist will be sent out. My special drops on YouTube this holiday season on my YouTube channel. Thanks for the free promo, you morons. To any comedians who think this is funny, drop your special next and let's compare. Now, on one hand, there are some people not exactly defending Jake, but they are saying it was kind of a bad
God,
thing to
the
do
clout
to leak
chasing
a
is
special
real
like
with-
that. From
with
the
this
comedian
guy.
perspective, how a lot of these guys work is they travel around the country, performing everywhere, trying to perfect their stand-up until they eventually get it just right, and then they'll record it and post it on YouTube. But leaking their stand-up is like a very, very bad thing to them, right? They don't like that. Now, I'm no comedy expert, and I don't really like stand-up that much anyway, but it is my understanding that leaking a comedian's set is a major no-no in the comedy world, even more so than like recording a concert or anything, which is like totally encouraged, nobody cares. Like, for example, when you go to see a huge comedian who is funny, like Dave Chappelle, a lot of the time they'll have you put your phone in a magnet case so no one leaks the special before it comes out. But on the other hand, Jake's stand-up is not very good, and that's not really a point against him in this case. I'm just saying that. But Queeman's stream was definitely transformative in the way that it was him roasting him for an hour rather than just like re-uploading it to make money off the stand-up.
Arguably more funny than the stand-up itself.
Stand-up. I'm trying to rip off his comedy and make money off of it. He was reacting to it. But after this lawsuit threat was made, another character enters the fold, and his name is Chud Logic. Now, Chud had a bit of a history with Jake Weddle. He had been covering him a lot on his YouTube channel, and he ended up making a point against him on Twitter that's pretty interesting. Jake Weddle, a couple of months ago, claimed that he was so badly in debt that taking $50K from Mr. Beast was necessary to reset him back to zero. Since then, he spent money on streaming equipment, directly referencing the blood money from Mr. Beast, and is now threatening two smaller creators, being Hellbent and Queeman, with expensive international lawsuits. His channel has dropped off significantly since he was involved in the drama. Where is all this money coming from? Or is it empty threats? Or was he lying about needing the money to reset back to zero from debt? He is lying. The only question is what part in particular. I guess I forgot to add in here that Jake's girlfriend would also go full schizo and threaten Hellbent with a lawsuit.
Well, this isn't a debate. Jake made a demand that was very clear to delete the video. You choose to keep it up, unlisted and unproposed counter offers. But when you receive a demand, when violations of law and privacy have occurred, there aren't any counter offers, and we don't need to work with you on what is ideal for you. Because the next step, after the legal team sees the evidence of non-compliance, is issuing a cease and desist with terms that are to delete the video and never speak about Jake or I. And that cease and desist will include financial penalties or fines for non-compliance. Jake's request was the first step in seeing if you'd be cooperative, but now I have it in writing that you don't wish to be and deliberately unlisted the video instead of deleting it when the demand was very clear.
Now, I feel like this conflict should have ended here. I honestly feel like Jake Weddle and his girl, you know, once again, I do feel a little sympathy for them for being thrust in the public eye and not being used to dealing with the small commentary community to an extent, but at the same time, they got to just get off. They got to just go away. At the end of the day, nothing that happened to them at this point was that bad. They didn't really need to acknowledge this. They didn't really need to weigh in. Jake's story was heard in a large way by a lot of people, and even to this day, a lot of people are criticizing Mr. Beast for his treatment of Jake. Whatever you feel about it, his story did get out there, but this couple is really focusing on these small commentary guys who are making fun of them, threatening legal action even, which is just not a good idea. The conflict here didn't really need to escalate further.
In short, they are speed running the path to becoming full locals. Like these are Boogie 2988 kind of reactions. Like they're going full DSP right now. In record time, from blow up to DSP level. Holy shit.
Until Lex decided to join Chud Logic's Discord and try to bait
him
into some kind of incriminating conversation. She tried to like socially engineer, manipulate him. And ultimately the alt account she joined with was banned, but that is what she tried to do. Lex even recently made her own video talking about some of this stuff, and she also said that she had to put cameras all over her house because of the threat to her life, but now her landlord is paranoid about it and is threatening to kick her out. She also made a very poor decision in the way that she said, I don't care, guys. I definitely don't care about this stuff. It's you guys that are mad. You guys are the crying Wojak, and I'm the girl boss Wojak, all right? Despite the fact I've responded to thousands of comments with one like, you guys are the mad ones.
That's the kind of life we lead now, is we just wake up and we're like, oh, H3 posted a video about us, posted another video about us. Oh, Chud Logic posted another video about us. Copen Seethe posted another.
If you can't handle that, the response is to log off. Just be done with the internet until people move on to the next person they want to talk to, and then you can try to come back later. This schizoing out and going full fucking locale, this is not good. This is not good. This is how you become Boogie 2988, and then you're topless on a Keemstar podcast with a knife screaming about ending yourself. Jesus Christ. Just stop. Just log off. Just get rid of your stuff. Go focus on doing your stand-up. Go drive around and pay to do those comedy clubs with all the money you should have taken from Mr. Beast. And try to buy your way into the comedy world. Because you ain't going to do it off your jokes alone, buddy.
Another video about us. Shout out to all you small commentary YouTubers. I know you need the views.
Hello,
so there you go.
we do.
These are the people that are making videos about us. And I find it quite interesting because I don't care about their lives at all because I care.
If you don't care, why are you making this video? Why are you responding to all the comments? I don't believe you.
care about my life.
Now, there's been a few more responses. There's been a long post from Jake about how the internet trolls
And
need to
still
leave him
more.
alone, and they're just behind a screen, sweaty losers, and he's like really out
Hey.
there fighting the good fight, and the
I'm not
people making
sweaty.
fun of him want to silence him for Mr. Beast or something. They're all Mr. Beast fans. But if Jake Weddle and Lex are watching this, I'd like to impart a little bit of wisdom to you guys. You know, I don't have a lot of wisdom, but as someone who has spent a lot of time online, and you know, I've seen a lot of people rise and fall, I'm gonna make a recommendation. Shut up. Just shut up. Stop with whatever this is. Stop engaging in small commentary drama. Stop responding to Chud Logic and Queeman, and stop threatening legal action. Just stop all of that. If your focus
Just
really
log
is on
off.
getting your life back on track, if your focus really is on Jake's stand-up career and succeeding, frankly, you don't need to go after these commentary channels. You just don't need to. There's no reason to do that. And you guys also need to let go of the Mr. Beast thing. You need to let go. The controversy's basically died. The FBI is not going to come after Mr. Beast. I could be wrong. I don't think the FBI is going to come after Mr. Beast. I don't think Rosanna Pansino or Dogpack 404 have any hope left for their claims. I think you guys just need to move on. Jake had a bad experience.
Let
He
it
got
go.
to talk
Your
about it on a
15
large
minutes
public
are over.
platform, and obviously there's a lot of differing opinions on it, but not everyone's going to respect whatever you say when there's millions and millions of people looking in. You don't need to engage with all of this stuff. You don't need to threaten legal action. It's not a good thing to do. You got a good payout from the situation. You got a lot of online attention.
You got way
200,000
more than you should
subscribers.
have.
It's time to move on, okay? It's time to move on. Anyway, that's about it for watching. A little bit of a cautionary tale here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah. I gotta go find my, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I gotta go find my cough drops. My throat is killing me. All right, well, the internet's newest locale, Jake Weddle. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That is, ooh. Damn, I can't believe we didn't get to see that 5 uncensored minutes of stand-up because they cucked us out of the content. You couldn't wait a week before announcing your lawsuit, Jimmy? You couldn't let us get one more video out of this? Damn it, Mr. Beast. Alright, I'll be right back, yo. I gotta go, yeah, I gotta go find my cough drops. I must have left them downstairs. I'll be right back. All right. All right, I'm back. I'm gonna cough drops. And try to make our I'll make our throat feel a little better. Right? So I don't sound like absolute ass while I'm commentating on things. Oh shit. New Willie Mac video. Speaking of lolcows. Speaking of lolcows, new Willie Mac show video. Dark Viper AU has a meltdown after being debunked with facts. Oh boy. And he's threatening to sue people. He's doing all the things I just said would make Jake Weddle. That do make Jake Weddle a lolcow. He is speed running to catch up to Dark Viper. Alright.
Recently,
let's find out what's going on with Dark Viper AU. Tell us what's up, Willie Mac Show. Tell us what's up.
we've been having to wrangle some lolcows, first with Hassan's response, and now it's Dark Viper's turn. Back in April, I made a video giving my opinion on reaction content, Viper striking Chud's critical reaction of him, and his crippling victim complex whenever someone mildly disagrees or inconveniences him.
Why must my life suffer? Why must I suffer so with no one caring for so long?
Dark Viper has since released 2 videos, over 5 hours of content, repeating the same points that I've already covered, calling me a liar when I slightly misspeak. Viper said Ethan memeing him saying 14 pages has traumatized him.
It's 14 pages!
Because one of my favorite
no.
people on the internet, Dark Viper, 14 pages!
I don't think Ethan is a very good person, and his using a soundbite of one of the most traumatic, angry moments of my entire life for many, many years on his stream, perhaps 100 times, is a bit more than excessive and very sick.
How easy is your life that that's one of the most traumatic moments of your entire life? Holy shit, first world problems, dude.
Is this traumatic for you? You're angry over nothing.
That is not at all what I said. You can note here that Willie's claim is that H3H3 spamming this clip for years was traumatic for me. But then he showed a clip where I specifically didn't say that. I called my interactions with Charlie years ago traumatic.
I said Ethan traumatized him when it was actually Charlie who did.
Oh,
My bad. He
okay.
says he would sue me if he thought he wouldn't get bad press for it.
I could sue these guys for defamation. Spend
You
all
could.
the money.
You wouldn't win, but you could.
No way make back the money that I would spend so much of my time that I normally spend on making content and get a ruling that would certainly be in my favor because they lied. Like so many times did they obviously lie. But I'm gonna look bad the entire time.
I followed him on Blue Sky after seeing this, and he frames me as a stalker.
It's not that he follows friends, family content and he enjoys. He's like, oh, I can stalk that Dark Viper AU guy, that guy who blocked me. This is insane behavior. This is psychotic. This is not normal.
I followed your branded social media and you're acting like I showed up to your house. He probably thinks I'm assaulting him just for watching his video. This video is about friendships.
There was this one question he asked where he asked about like who I talk about. He asked who I talk to about this. Who do I bounce ideas off?
Okay, okay. Is that Dark Viper doing that? Or is that one of them? Who's the fucking genius that added the dramatic music underneath this? That is Chef's Kiss. Oh my god. Just who did that? It's fucking great. It's fucking great.
I said to him, like I don't talk to anyone really, and then I'm a bit of a loner. I just assume that everyone
I don't
will
have any
eventually,
friends,
like,
guys.
work against my interests unless there's an explicit reason for them not to. Just never really had anyone in my life that I can trust a lot. The closest thing I have now is my mods. Like if I'm gonna talk to anyone about anything, it is my mods.
How can you have no one you trust? If there's literally nobody that you trust, there probably is something wrong with you, rather than everyone else. You might be kind of a schizo person. I mean, this is just
Also
very sad
true.
to listen to.
It's why it's important to treat your friends well by getting them a fume.
Nice transition, Willie.
2025 is right around the corner. Is the perfect time to start building
Wonder if
better
that
habits.
actually works. Maybe it'll help me quit
Smokeless,
vaping.
And non-addictive. It is just flavored air, the perfect gift for somebody trying to break their bad habit. I use it all the time. You've probably seen it in the background of some of my videos. I like to use it to prevent me from snacking throughout the workday. It is the best adult fidget toy. It's crafted from wood. It has this great weight and this really satisfying stand. It comes in a whole variety of flavors, so there's something for everyone. My favorite is crisp mint. So whenever I'm itching to reach for my bad habit, instead I just play with the fume. Get a little stimulant of flavor. And I'm right back to work.
Willie
So whether
seemed
you're getting it as a
exceptionally
gift
good at
for
that.
A loved one or for yourself, Fume won't disappoint. So for this holiday season, give the gift of better habits by going to tryfume.com/WillyMac and use code WillyMac or scan the QR code to get a free topper when you sign up for the Journey Pack today.
Wait, it doesn't come with a
Fume
topper?
for sponsoring this video.
Whisper in my ear that you want some more, and I jizz in my pants.
Dark Viper is passionate
Damn.
about React content.
I love
He's
this
made the
song.
same video now 9 times. He's mad that I partially cited his essay because that was just a draft script.
He seems blissfully unaware that I finished that draft and made it into a video. He has not seen all these videos.
I've watched all of his videos on this subject. His arguments largely remain the same. Not to mention this document was his magnum opus at the time. It's literally where the 14 pages meme comes from.
14 pages! 14
Oh, God, I love
pages,
that.
14 pages, painstaking detail.
He points to his other work that he wants me to watch, acting like it had all this tangible data.
First video is, why am I here? What am I trying to prove? The second is the main bulk of my work, arguing for the foundations in which I build my arguments, making those arguments. I use a lot of data, I use some animations, and so this ended up being like my main thesis, if you will.
It's just not true. It's the same thing where he claims that people reacting to your videos are exploiting you.
Reactors are playing a game with our online creator ecosystem where everyone loses except the reactors themselves. The premise of this video is that React content is a system of exploitation that siphons an incalculable amount of money and exposure away from the hard-working into the pockets of the incredibly lazy.
None of what he just said was true, by the way. I get it. I react to stuff while I play video games, mainly out of boredom. I'm making no money on this, and nobody is ever going to pick to watch a reaction video, be it mine or Willie's or Tom's or whoever's. No one's ever going to pick the React version of a video to watch over the original version. They're not stealing views from the original. They're not stealing money from you. If anything, it's free fucking exposure. You're just bad that that exposure in your case is negative. That's all. That's all this is. You're just mad that you look bad. And you have no one to blame for that but yourself. And you keep doubling down on the things that make you look bad. Because most of the time, people watch a reaction video to some content after watching that content itself. Because, hey, I saw this crazy video, and now I want to see Charlie's reaction to it, or I want to see Tom's reaction to it. It's the online equivalent of having a cool, funny video you saw or a cool thing you saw and then on your phone, and then you're at work or at school and you show it to a friend and go, check this out, and you want them to see it too. They're probably going to want to watch it again on their own. It's just basically you're watching something you've already seen with a friend. That's all React content is. That's all it is. He's just, oh my God, the mantle just fucked me out of my shield. He's just mad that all the reactions to his content are negative. That's all.
Content on this website is lazy. Viper struck Chud because Chud reacted to a 9-minute video clipped from Viper's live stream. Chud's reaction was a 35-minute video clipped from his live stream. Both of you produced equally lazy content. He tries to show that React content is harmful by pulling up a creator named Josh's total view graph, and he applies the dips to Asmin reacting to him.
The first 4 reactions seem to have done nothing at all, often preceding dips in viewership. In fact, the period where Josh's channel saw the greatest growth compared to the prior month was in May, and it had no reactions until the end of the month.
Jesus.
These late reactions actually occurred prior to a downturn in the channel, and these in the middle...
You know, for a while I thought he was just doing this for clout, and as long as he's freaking out about it, it's getting him views, so why would he not just keep this going as long as he could? But the fact that he's pulling up the graphs and he's doing this level of autistic homework on this shit tells me that he's not just doing it for views. He is legitimately angry at this. And I don't think it's just because React content equals bad, because I'm sure he's reacted to content himself. Hell, he's reacting to, you know, these streamers and these YouTubers by watching their content so he can criticize it himself. I don't think the sheer existence of React content is what makes him angry. I think it's the fact that all the content of his that gets reacted to is done so negatively. That's all it is. It's ego. His fifis are hurt.
he did nothing to change its course. This therefore makes it hard to attribute Josh's July success to the reactions, considering that they occur just as much on bad days as they do good.
All you can really interpret is that Asmon's reactions don't lead to a boost in viewership. But then he immediately states that this means Josh is losing views because of Asmon, when there is so many potential variables in this graph he ignored.
While it is hard to know for certain, comparing the day before and the day of a reaction, I'd estimate each reaction gained Josh less than 500 subscribers each. Especially while remembering that Josh is losing views and impressions to Asmongold's business model during this process, you can see that this is not very much.
Now, other creators have made similar assumptions when they post a video that underperformed. The Ackman and Internet Anarchist are both creators that have complained about reaction content negatively affecting their videos. But as we all know, correlation doesn't necessarily mean causation, and that's my problem with this whole dialogue.
Look, Actman in particular, he was mad at reaction content too for a while. And then Destiny reacted to some of his stuff, and I think some other bigger streamers, and then he finally saw the boost in viewership that React content can get, and then he went on Destiny stream, I think, or some streams, and did debates with people, or actually talked to people, and he has since changed his view on that, to Actman's credit. Actman realizes that React content doesn't take away from the original. If anything, having a YouTuber or a streamer that people react to someone's videos just gets eyes on those videos. And if that person ends up being cool or has even if they're being made fun of by that streamer, if they can take the joke well and they lean into it, and that streamer ends up saying good things about him or ends up liking him and being like, hey, you know what, he turned out to be an okay guy even though he made shitty videos. And, they end up having a positive interaction in the end from it. All it does is get them new fans. Because I'm friends with because it makes it look like you and that streamer are now friends. So if that streamer approves of you, then their audience is going to approve of you. And they're going to end up watching you. That's how that's going to work. Okay. So that's how you place traps. All right.
On vibes and people's personal opinions, so I wanted to change that. Since my last Dark Viper video, I linked up with a data analyst named Glisset. We then had the Ackman and Internet Anarchist send us videos that both were and weren't reacted to. Glisset then divided the views per day by the maximum views per day to normalize each data set, and modeled each day as a normal distribution. The final result for Internet Anarchist is this.
So you see the black line there? That's the sort of the average view count of a reacted video. It's dimensionless view count, which effectively means that I've divided it by the maximum view count, which basically just makes each video more comparable to each other. Otherwise, you'd have all different lines going all about the place.
These shaded areas are the standard deviations. If the line is in the dark gray area, that is one standard deviation. The light gray is two. The line being within either means there isn't a statistical enough difference in views to say that React content is affecting the work. But if it leaves the shaded areas, that means it's statistically significant. A trend is being formed.
For Internet Anarchist, there's, I think, most significantly, or I suppose uniquely about Internet Anarchist sort of situation, is that there are regions where that pink line leaves the shaded area. I call that very loosely statistically significant.
When it leaves the shaded area, does that mean the video is doing better, or is it doing worse? What's this?
So if it was above the line, then it would be doing significantly better. But because it's below the line, the unreacted video is doing significantly worse than a reacted video.
When it comes to the Actman, we get different results.
You can see in Actman's case, from this one here, it's a much sort of steeper curve than the case of Internet Anarchist, which makes this sort of analysis a little bit more difficult because noise is a little bit more prevalent, I'd say, when you're dealing with such sort of small numbers towards the end there. But if we sort of zoom in a bit, you can see that pink line always stays within the shaded region.
Yep.
Because it always stays within the shaded region, it's always within 2 standard deviations. And
so no
when
trend
it
is
stays within
formed,
that
just
dark gray,
normal
sort of
behavior
shaded region, which it
for the
does
most
most of the time, that's within 1 standard deviation, and I'd say that that's perfectly normal. And based on that, there isn't really an impact of the reaction on the video. Yeah, I'd say sort
Be
of,
it positive
if you are
or
to see
negative,
an impact,
yeah.
it tends to be either in the short term, so say 10 to 30 days, or the medium term, so 30 to about 150 days.
So the conclusion is that there is no measurable impact for Actman, while Internet Anarchist does seem to benefit at times.
I'd say this at least speaks to, because a lot of this has been done on sort of commentary creators. I think
Yeah, it
this
also
at least
depends
gives
on
a decent idea of how
on the
things
creator they're
work
reacting
in the
to.
commentary space. I think I'd be
And the content they're reacting
they're
to.
fairly
There's a
confident
lot
in
of
saying
variables that have to be taken into account.
for the average commentary creator, the being reacted to doesn't really make a difference in your video performance. The only statistically significant finding we were sort of able to find
Subscribers, maybe?
was Internet Anarchist, and I'd limit that to saying that only in.
I'd want to see, does it generate like
Could there be a
subscribers who
compelling
may
case,
be
that
notified
there
of new
is a
videos from that
significant
person? I mean, does it get them
to being
any
reacted to?
any
Now, is it
people
like
who
this
like
for every creator and every
because
reaction?
sometimes people react to a video and it exposes that creator to a new audience, and that new audience may go look for that creator and subscribe to them, but they don't watch the video that was originally reacted to. So if you're only looking at that video, then you may not see much of a change. But they're like, hey, I don't need to watch that video. I saw this guy react to it, but I like what he reacted to. So I'm going to subscribe to this guy and see what he puts out next, and maybe I'll watch his videos in the future. You know, I'm subscribing, so he'll show up in my feed, but I don't need to see the video that, you know, he's currently doing here. I don't need to see that video. Oh my god, why do I have to lead it so far? Jesus.
Video on YouTube, but no, these are two creators' data. It's a relatively small sample size, and the genre of video as well as the quality of reaction may affect the videos differently. Point is, there's a ton of variables.
It's so funny because he fucking hated people reacting to his videos when we were talking to him.
Well, it is, and that's the power of an intuitive model. If it's no good sort of saying, "Oh, that makes sense, therefore it must be true." You really do have to
Stuck
sort
between
of,
two of them now.
R/do the math. I'd say do this on a case-by-case basis. I mean, this is sort of standard procedure in sort of copyright. Always analyze things case by case. Conclusions here in the commentary space, probably not going to affect your video, but I would be interested in seeing sort of how this varies sort of space by space, and maybe seeing some data from some, you know, gaming channels like speed running or
yeah, it depends on the kind of content that they're
because
reacting to.
Obviously, I'd expect the dynamics to be slightly different because you're watching the videos for slightly different reasons.
So my point is, before we start a crusade against an entire genre of creators saying they're exploiting people, let's actually take some time and analyze some data.
Looking at the bigger picture here, this drama's been going on for 4 years. And it still every now and then resurfaces. Eventually this is going to have to be sort of put to bed sort of thing, because I don't think it's going on for 4 years. It's not necessarily a productive use of everyone's time, especially when the big conclusion here, I think, is that it doesn't matter and it doesn't make a difference. Reaction videos don't look like they have any sort of impact.
If anything, I would say that Dark Viper is probably the one who's come out in the good because of reaction content. I wouldn't know who he was, and I think most of the, you know, fans, the React content watchers like myself, or commentary community watchers like myself, wouldn't even know who Dark Viper was if commentary channels weren't reacting to his videos. Like, yeah, we view him negatively, but we watch his clips, and I guarantee there's probably a large portion of that commentary community audience who are hate watching him just to see if they can get good clips to farm to show to their favorite content subreddit, their commentary subreddit or whatever, to go show to creators to see if they can get them to react to it. So if anything, I mean, that's still more views for him. Is it an embarrassing way to get views? Sure, but views are views, man, and views equal money. It's how you're able to do that for a living. So I'd say, if anything, I want to see Dark Viper's trends to see if he got a little boost in viewership. Maybe not on one specific video, but I'd want to see like trends over time. Like, this is when I was first watched by Moist Critical, and here's my subscriber count after that. Here's the next 10 videos after that compared to the 10 videos before it. Yeah, like, that's what I'd want to see.
Impact on video's performance, and therefore, you know, I'm not really sure why people care quite so much.
Bro, you've been covering this topic for 3 years. How is this the first data analysis that's been done? He acts like this is a case-closed argument for him. I bring up my own personal experience with React content, and he compares it to playing slot machines. My personal experience, because that's all we can go off of.
What do you mean that's all we can go off of? This man is literally all we have is personal anecdotes. There is a reason why we judge systems in their totality, not simply like people's interactions with them, but thinking about the process by which they do things. A person can walk up to you and say, hey, I want $1,000 on a slot machine. You can look that person dead in the eye and say, that's great, but slot machines are a terrible way to make money. And they go,
Yeah, but slot machines have a predetermined odd of winning. Like, you can statistically know when they're going to pay out or how often they're going to pay out, etc. Like, they have, by law, they have to list the odds of your winning on said slot machine. Reacting to content, that's a case-by-case basis. There's so many variables that you can't account for that aren't there in a slot machine. Like, the type of content being reacted to, the content creator, the genre they're in, the audience that's watching it, the type of reaction that it's getting from the comment from the person reacting to it, how big that person's audience is, etc., etc. None of that's there in a slot machine. It's just slot machine is gambling. Simple as that. You know, slot machine has this odds of winning. Simple as that. This comparison makes no fucking sense.
he goes, but Frank over there won 10 grand. Yes, that's amazing, but still a terrible way to make money.
Slot machines are statistically rigged by design. That's a fact. You have no facts. You have no data suggesting that React content is the same way. I was going to make a video whether Dark Viper responded to me or not because I want this dialogue to be productive. Let's go get a data analyst, talk to Glisset, see how they mapped it, and compare Josh's reacted to his unreacted to video so we can build a data set.
He does put in quite a lot of effort in terms of trying to assign numbers to these things. I just think when he's tried to assign numbers, they haven't necessarily been, they don't really mean anything. So he goes on, for instance, total view count. Well, total view count is entirely dependent on how old the video is. It doesn't necessarily
there's a lot
tell
of
you
factors
anything
there
about how a React video has actually impacted the video. And then we sort of saw slightly more sophisticated techniques when we went to sort of Nakrit's sort of analysis. To be fair to Nakrit, I mean, it slightly worked in the cases that he analysed, but when you sort of broaden that theory, it starts to break down.
Well, here's the cool part, though. You've explained how you've done it. You've said that it really isn't that complicated if people want to get into it. It's a high school level thing. So if Dark Viper wants to, he could go collect data. I got a ton of creators that would love to participate. If he wants to do the
compare
same
notes,
he could test it himself.
Certainly. So I mean, sort of the more stuff we analyze, the better picture we actually have of
there's no such thing as too much data here.
Just looking at graphs and going on vibes, that's not rigorous. That's
how science works. It's a peer review.
Basic maths.
But Dark Viper's problem with React content isn't that it necessarily hurts the original video. It's that it takes away viewers from all.
It's embarrassing him.
Unrelated videos.
Again, to be clear, the lion's share of what I talk about has nothing to do with the impact of the re-upload on the original. And what time I spend on that is largely because other people care about it. We have YouTube with the best algorithm that's ever been made for distributing content ever. And there are no reactors currently in this hypothetical world. So viewers go to YouTube, and the smartest algorithm that has ever existed tries to direct them to content that they want to watch and will watch long term. 100% of the exposure on the platform is going to creators. I ask you, how much of this exposure should we take away and give to reactors to grow them an audience? 100%? So that they can then act as a middleman for that exposure to creators. The click-through rate from YouTube itself to a video is like 5%. A click-through rate from a reactor to the original video is like 0.5% and confers no watch time. And it has all the other added costs that people have to spend time watching the reaction video itself, limiting the amount of content they can even watch from creators.
I get you, but you're discounting that the viewers...
Yeah, you've got no proof of this whatsoever. Like, that's not how it works. It's not like YouTube isn't going to show them other content because they watch React content. And it's not like people who watch React content don't also go look at the other content. I say that as a guy whose feed is filled with React content, and it will oftentimes show me the channels that they're reacting to. I have never watched many of the channels that it recommends me in my life, but because a reaction channel that I watched reacted to it, and a bunch of the people that watch that channel also went and watched that video. That's one of the ways that YouTube recommends things. It's like, fans of this channel also watched this thing, so I'm going to put it in your feed to see if you are like the rest of the fans and would also like it. Like, you have no, like, why are you acting like views on YouTube are finite? It's not like because a person watched a thing that that view was taken away from other things. People watch more than, like, people can watch multiple things. Like, you're not battling, like, I hate this idea that you're battling for eyeballs on YouTube. There are billions of people on YouTube. And a lot of those eyeballs watch multiple kinds of content. There is no world in which, like, people you run out of views on YouTube because they're busy watching other stuff. Now there's nobody left to watch your stuff. That's just not the way it works, man.
Count the Reactor is a real creator. Hassan's viewers don't want to watch me. They want to watch Hassan respond to me. They want Tom's or Nick's or H3's or Asmon's opinion. If they edited their reactions down, I'm not convinced it would have any measurable impact on the creator economy like Viper implies. Maybe it would, but without running tests or getting data, you're just throwing out theories.
Each of these.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, we're there for that person's opinion and reaction to a thing. And maybe they react to a thing we like and we go watch that original thing, but that's only to see if after watching the original thing, maybe I like it as much as this creator did, or maybe I have the same opinion that they did. But yeah, we are watching them for their opinion. He just doesn't get it, man.
YouTubers and Asmongold are attempting to attract to themselves viewers from the same general finite markets. Who is more likely to end up with the most at the end of the week? Do you think individual YouTubers would benefit more or less if Asmongold wasn't a reactor? Not just the people he steals videos from, but everyone else in the market, as his goal is not just to steal viewers away from those he reacts to, but everyone in general, as he can just as easily steal someone away from any of us as he can the people he reacts to.
You can't steal things that we're never gonna, like, you can't steal money that hasn't been made. Like, it's like stealing $1 million from a homeless man. And he goes, well, I could have made $1 million if that guy hadn't stole this from me. This thing might have been worth $1 million. Like, you're stealing hypothetical money. That's like someone claiming that you stole $1 million from them because you stole a collectible that they think will one day be worth $1 million. It's not worth it now, and you got no proof that it'll ever be worth that in the future. You just think it will. He's not stealing views away from people because those people were never going to watch those videos to begin with. They were not exposed to that creator. They were never going to be shown that creator. Those weren't views that creator was ever going to get to begin with. So he's not stealing views away from them. If anything, he's giving them potential new views. Oh my God. How are you so bad at this?
And to that, I don't care. If your video gets beat out by a React creator and your video isn't the one being reacted to, womp womp. I can't believe I have this opinion. Don't care.
Again, his argument. I don't care. That's it. And newsflash,
I mean,
in every
you should
single
use
situation where a
the
negative externality has
argument
been
that I
caused,
just gave.
impacting someone outside the original exchange, there is always going to be people who don't care. In fact, with
I
every
want to see
harm
his
that has
reaction
ever
to someone
happened in the
giving
history
the
of mankind, someone hasn't cared.
giving like, how has no one given him the argument that I just gave, which was hey, I'm not stealing views away from this creator because the views that are watching me were never going to watch this creator to begin with. Jesus. Oh my God, dude. Just stay and fight me. You, buddy. Jesus.
But you don't even know if they were harmed.
It doesn't matter. Your indifference to harm doesn't make it less impactful or potentially less meaningful to other people.
Bro, it's me giving my opinion. We don't have the data to discuss this further in a productive way, so I don't care. I am agreeing to disagree with you, something you should learn how to do too. He frames me as the evil man, exploiting other creators for personal gain.
I want him to respond to mine because I want his response to that argument that those views were never going to be given to that creator to begin with. I can't steal views they never had.
It's a garbage perspective.
But I don't even make that kind of React content. In Viper's world, I am the ultimate victim, constantly getting exploited. My videos compete with Chud's, Nick's, and Tom's reactions all the time. I have the most to gain from reaction content being banned. But since I demand evidence of harm, that makes me evil for some reason. Apparently, I'm the Uncle Tom of React content. We've pretty much maxed out the conversation when it comes to React content, so I want to turn our attention to the eternal victim that is Dark Viper.
Like, wow! I'm a troubled soul. I'm living in a studio flat that's covered in mold.
There are times where he says I'm taking takes him out of context, and then he plays a longer version of the same clip, and it has the same exact context. All React content makes you a bad person, not that it's necessarily illegal.
You are taking that guy's 500 hours of labor in order to take all these impressions, and therefore viewers from every other content creator. If you were to disappear, everyone would be better off. However, all original content creators have just as much right to be in this space as anyone else. Reactors don't. I'm pretty sure that's
shot in the back.
propped up.
The creator saw my reaction to it and was really disappointed. They didn't appreciate it, and I totally understood where they're coming from because I didn't really add anything to it. I didn't really react to it. So to them, it felt like I was just re-uploading their content on my stream.
Because that's what you're doing. Even when you pause and speak, the amount of effort you're putting in is a tiny, tiny fraction of what the original content creator put in place.
Doesn't matter.
You spend 500 hours making a YouTube video, you spend 15 minutes watching it, and you believe you deserve to profit off that $500 worth of labor? As a multi-millionaire, you don't believe you owe that guy one single fucking dollar?
No, he doesn't.
On what basis? Without his labor, you'd have to turn off your stream because.
So if you want to know what basis, the Ethan Klein lawsuit where he got sued by a channel he reacted to, the H3 lawsuit, which he won, where it is now legally defined what counts as transformative, as fair use, and pausing, like I just did, to react to someone, like I'm doing right now, and adding my commentary is valuable, is fair use, and is a new form of content in and of itself. The amount of work put into said content doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. There is far less work that goes into an episode of the Kardashians than goes into like a DC or a Marvel movie, but doesn't matter. What matters is people want to watch it, so people watched it. Like, are you kidding me? Hey, David. Press the fucking tip button, you moron. If you demand in my chat one more time, I'm just gonna ban you. Stop acting like you don't know how this site works, man. Jesus Christ. Alright. Anyway. That's why he's really mad. That's what this is about. It's because he thinks that his content, which by the way, your content isn't highly edited content either, buddy. You film yourself playing GTA 5 and then you talk about things. The only difference between you and React content is instead of the thing they're talking about being a video game, the thing they're talking about is you. He's just mad at the amount of work that goes into it and the fact that someone's making more money than him with less effort. It is a pity that you're poor. So now you get nothing. I'm sorry you're poor. Hey, here's an idea. Get off the Gooner website and go DoorDash. Or go do something to earn some money. Instead of, or you can hang out in my chat and wait for somebody else to come and pay for you. But if you're that poor that you can't afford like a $2 or $5 tip to get the entertainment you want online from a creator, and it sounds like you shouldn't be online. It sounds like you should be out making money, friend. DoorDash, Instacart, I don't know, sell feed pics, something. Jesus, man. You poor as fuck.
You'd have nothing else to watch. You'd have less uploads on your channel. Those people who aren't on your stream would go to other content creators. The people who can no longer watch your React content would watch other...
No, they wouldn't. They would still be watching Moist Critical. Those people will, if he doesn't have any content to react to, they'll watch him play a video game. Or they'll watch him tell stories. Or they'll just hang out with him. Because they're there for him. You understand? They aren't there to see what thing he's going to react to next. They're there to watch him react to things. Or just watch him be himself. They just want to hang out with him. They're there because they like him. Not because they like him reacting to things.
The content creators,
he doesn't
wherever
get
they
it.
would be found. You are taking that guy's 500 hours of labor in order to take all these impressions and therefore viewers from every other
so
content
wrong
creator.
on so many
if you
levels.
were to disappear, everyone would be better off. And that is the case actually for any content creator. There'd be less competition in the marketplace. If all content creators disappeared except me, you can better believe my viewership would go up. However, all original content creators have just as much right to be in this space as anyone else. Reactors don't. All reactors do is sit and steal from the original content creators. They siphon exposure via impressions to themselves, keep people on their channels instead of other people's, and they flick a few every once in a while to someone else. So that section also is deceptively edited.
No, it wasn't. That's the same thing. I'm arguing with Autismo. I ask again, what context was changed? Viper is constantly calling me a liar. His examples are pointing out when I misspeak.
14 pages! 14 pages! He's using a soundbite of one of the most traumatic, angry moments of my entire
I'm gonna start
life.
using
It's
that soundbite on my
14
stream because
pages!
fuck this
So
guy.
here you can see an example where Willie will just play something and then directly lie about what was just said. While he is taking these clips out of context, I'm explaining why they exist or what the point of them was. Even in that clip, I said, one of the most traumatic moments of my life. He's using a soundbite of one of the most traumatic, angry moments of my entire life. He says, most traumatic moment of his life, which is not what I said.
He's arguing with the text on the screen. He
he's
says I'm
arguing
lying
semantics.
because Ethan didn't traumatize him. Charlie did.
That is not at all what I said. You can note here that Willie's claim is that H3H3 spamming this clip for years was traumatic for me.
He's arguing
But then he
semantics.
showed a clip
Jesus
where I specifically
Christ.
didn't say
This guy
that.
might
I
be.
called my
Yeah, he
interactions
might
with
actually be
Charlie years
autistic.
ago
I know we joke
traumatic,
about it a lot.
and they were.
Don't admit that, bro. The point is that this shouldn't traumatize you. I point out his history of spurging out
Yeah, he's
over
missing
nothing,
the
and he
point.
brings up dates. Like, yeah, Matt, the dates are why people are calling you cringe.
One of the hallmarks of Willie's video, and that showcases him as a grifter, is he uses out-of-context clips that have no relevance to anything all throughout the video, spamming them, as I say. It doesn't matter how old the clip is, Willie knows that if he doesn't say what date it is, people will just assume it happened very recently. This clip, for example, is 4 years old, but he is even more dishonest than that. He uses clips far older, 6, 7 years old in this video.
The point is to show that throughout your career, you turn small disagreements and inconveniences into massive crash-out moments for yourself. You have a pattern of behavior. Ethan plays a meme soundbite on his podcast, and he's a sick individual.
14 pages! As someone who has been incessantly harassed by him for years in front of thousands, he is one of those truly deserving.
None of that is harassing
I
you,
don't know
dude.
how sick of an
Oh
individual
my
you
God.
have to be to do something like this. Like, if he was using it in some wholesome way or shouting me out in
I
some
think that
positive
was
way,
pretty wholesome.
fine, but
Oh,
he's
you're mad
just
that it's
using it
that
to
he's
mock
not.
me.
Good. Ride Dog trolls a speedrunning
dick
forum,
riding
and
you.
Matt is suffering.
Why must my life suffer? Why must I suffer so with no one caring for so
Because
long?
you need to log off the internet and go touch
This
grass.
man has gone out of his way to insult me at every turn to make my life worse.
Also, it wasn't out
I
of
have
his
not
way.
felt
It was
depression
2 minutes
like
worth of
I have
content on his
experienced
channel.
because of Rydog since I was a teenager. The thought of living in this world where a single man can cause me so much suffering and people defend his right to do it, I just don't want to live in this world anymore.
What did he do? He lied to the
Jesus
moderators, and
Christ!
he removed his own speedruns, shut down a category, and doesn't turn on his FPS limit. What a bad guy. Matt's like, but this guy pulled a coup. It was a reasonable response.
This clip is so old, it's entirely possible that someone lied to Willie and Willie just repeated that lie because he just doesn't care what's true. Maybe he himself isn't lying. He might just be ignorant in this specific case. The person he's speaking about is Rydog, who was so disruptive as a non-speedrunner of GTA 5 at the time that we made an entire Discord specifically so we could have moderation tools to deal with him. He was literally the first person ever banned in that Discord, and he has stayed banned for 7 years. The man quite literally pulled a coup and got every moderator removed from the speedrun.com leaderboards. Do you know how many coups there have been in the history of speedrunning? Probably not many.
Bro, that's hilarious. You can't even admit one time.
My
that
God,
he
he's acting like
overreacted.
it, like the
Speedrunner
man
named
took
Tony
over a
Barrett slipped
country.
Matt over the rules, and Matt is losing sleep over it. He made a 3-part video series because a speedrunner named Friendly Baron shit-talked how he ran the forum.
Frankly, I'm afraid I'll come off as petty at this point, but I literally can't fucking sleep. I need more closure.
I'm Dark Viper. I'm 5 seconds behind after 4 minutes. I'm gonna reset. Where the fuck's the chopper? Dead. Gonna reset like Dark Viper.
This is keeping you up.
But I keep getting
You've
sent these
become a
clips,
running
man.
joke.
He keeps being an asshole. I don't like Baron. He seems to be a terrible person.
Over this? He didn't do anything. I said a speedrunner beat Matt in a category, so he banned him from his Twitch chat and cries on Reddit about how his life is worse. I have known for quite some time that other people were doing runs off this category. People that could run from dawn till dusk. People that had no reason to be entertaining, had fewer obligations, fewer distractions. Sharing information with these people is almost entirely one-sided, or at least everything I developed for the run was public knowledge. But the inverse was not true. The result was that anyone running alongside me was getting far more information. What sort of response did you expect from me? A hug? Your success does me no favors. On the contrary, it makes my life considerably worse, with the added fun that I will have to field questions about this.
This guy needs
Humanity,
to
society
go
is
out
a
and
give
touch
and take
grass.
relationship. And I've experienced a massive take with no give.
What?
And people seem to be confused
What did that miss?
as to why I'm not a
How
fan
far
of
do I
this.
have to leave
When
the
I say
shot?
he has made my life worse, measurably so. I was the only person who could have benefited significantly from doing this first. But not only that, failing to do this will now impact the rest of my career.
Matt thinks the missing context that will vindicate him is
I'm
that
lobbing
Unnamed had him
spitwads
speedrun
at
a
him.
category before beating him.
Again, it's amazing. He said so few words, but every single word is wrong. He knows nothing about me, or my career, or the people involved. The single most crucial detail of that drama from 4 years ago, yes, this is again another 4-year-old drama, is that Unnamed wasn't a speedrunner, and it certainly had nothing to do with him or anyone else being better than me at speedrunning. I had not been competitive in speedrunning 4 years. By May 2021, when Unnamed beat No Damage in GTA 5 before me, I you not, I was not even in the top 10 for any main speedrunning category of GTA 5. But again, even in this group of speedrunners that was better than me, Unnamed wasn't in that group because he wasn't a speedrunner. Like, when literally every detail given by Willy about a drama is incorrect, do I really need to spend the time to explain what that drama was about?
He's like arguing that the category they were competing in wasn't technically a speedrun, therefore my argument is invalid. It's semantics. He says Unnamed forgave him, so it's fine.
When did we squash the beef? Or there wasn't really any beef. I mean, you've always been chill and I've just
I think
grouchy arsehole.
after you completed one hit KO yourself, I just like
There was definitely
DM'd
beef.
You, yo, congrats, but can you unban me?
I think I said it multiple times. You were a very stoic dude. Your only interest seemed to be that you didn't want to be banned.
This says more about Unnamed's character than yours. This guy can't even play a game of Among Us without making it about himself.
Runs around the entire map to come to O2. And I'm like, I had nothing to say. I was literally speechless. I did not speak that entire time because I was so confused why we were starting the game. I have never been this mad at a person the entirety of my life.
I apologize. I'm still a little.
God damn!
If you don't even know how to win the game, why are you playing?
You guys say I rage at games.
After yelling at him, Viper
I rage at
realized
games,
Scott will
not
be
people.
unbanned. It was not simply that I was having
Jesus
a bad day. I was
Christ.
close to tears at the beginning of the stream. I felt impressively down, perhaps due to a lack of caffeine as I was kicking soft drink. I came to the one thing I love at the moment, Among Us. To have it ruined by a guy who didn't just play badly, he literally didn't play. He'd then make a follow-up video saying that he has no friends.
A lot of my life, I've wanted to play board games. Board games always look so enjoyable, but I had no friends to play them with. And the friends that I did have made it even worse, that they would play board games and not invite me.
Huh, I wonder why.
It takes something like half an hour to fill the lobby. Like, you guys may think I'm super famous and popular and shit, but there's not a heap of people who want to play with me. As a matter of fact,
There's
I
a
once
reason
more
for
asked
that.
a Discord full of other streamers if they wanted to play with me, and I got no responses. Again, I think this may be the 3rd or 4th time I've tried. I've left that server now because it just brought back all the memories of my fucking friends not inviting me to play games. It just brought up those feelings. I don't like those feelings. I have people I'm playing with who are experienced with the game because that's
Why
what I
are the
requested.
bullets
And so I
going?
kill a guy and the game doesn't end. I'm sitting there like, the game's not ending. The game is not ending. Why is the game not ending? I'm not a person who is lost for words very often, but my body from the person I killed was found, and they accused me of the kill, and I literally didn't speak. I was so just the weight of still being in the game was still washing over me. I was just having that bad of a day, and I'm like, is this it? Is this me one day doing something for myself, and this is the situation I find myself in? And so the game plays out for another 10 minutes, and he's sitting there just going, I can't believe we're still in this game. And we end up losing. And I go off at this guy. I was just so fucking pissed that my one chance to save my day, to make myself feel good, is ruined by this guy who joined a game that he clearly should not have been in because he mustn't be experienced at the game, which was the very thing that I requested.
How does he get experience if he doesn't?
I timed him out. And then I realized, like, I don't want to see this person ever again. I don't want to remember this bad day. I want to move on with my life, smooth sailing, so I ban this person. They were in a lobby they should not have been in, explicitly, and made no mention of their inexperience of the game, clearly deserving of a ban. This day sucks. It is the culmination of
Go
every
outside,
negative thing in my life,
touch grass.
and reinforces in me that I can't have a day to myself. I don't deserve shit.
You can by leaving the
I will get back
computer.
to editing, people.
Go to the park. Have a day to yourself.
Hashimoto's disease.
So something like a month prior, I had been diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease. My particular condition is called hypothyroidism. Tiredness, puffy face, hoarse voice, muscle aches, tenderness, and stiffness.
Nobody cares. He's like, Scott, forgive me so I can't be goofed on anymore.
Scott, of course, forgave me immediately because it was really obvious that I wasn't doing well, and so he didn't take it personally. Even now, 4 years later, Scott still comes round to the stream.
That says more about Scott's character than yours. I talked about how he stopped being friends with Carl Jobs because Carl took a sponsorship from Asmon's PC company. And since Asmon makes React content, Carl essentially took blood money. Carl says, yes, this is the reason. I find it to be unhealthy and not a good thing. Carl would delete this tweet and apologize for leaking the email.
Willie, of course, being dishonest, doesn't say that what he's showing on screen is a deleted tweet that Carl deleted for publicly apologizing for bringing our disagreement public.
But that doesn't change that it happened. The email is insane.
What are you talking about?
I don't have people close to me by choice. Friendship requires trust, and I don't give that out unless out of necessity. I've spent most of my life being kicked by those I've given even a measure of trust to. Regardless of whether you personally felt it meaningful, you broke the small measure of trust I gave you. A currency more rare than anything on this earth. I am under no obligation to associate with you anymore. Matt's response to me pointing out how ridiculous this is to say Willie says friends. I only broke up with one friend due to React content. He ended relationships with friends over this.
It is a skill that Willie can say so few words, but say so many false things at the same time. For a start, I don't know if Willie thinks Carl is multiple people, but what do you mean by friends? Like, even when he wants to slam dunk own me, he can't help but lie.
I'm talking to a grammar Nazi, man. His defense boils down to Carl forgave him.
The predictable ended up happening. We went to PAX and we're like, hey, sorry about all that. We're good, right? And it's like, yeah, that's cool.
That says more about Carl than it does about you.
Again.
You send an unhinged email and Carl apologizes. That's insane. You broke up with him for taking a sponsorship while he was getting sued. You can't have nice things when you're friends with Matt. It just seems like people keep having to forgive you. Does the context in these clips change anything? Does it make him look better or does it make him look more unhinged? He gets on me for calling his essay a manifesto.
It wasn't a manifesto. It didn't even contain all my arguments or ideas about reaction content. It's called How the React Grift Works. It was in no way, shape, or form focused on morality.
All of your videos and your essays are about why React content is morally wrong. I don't know how anyone could come away with another conclusion. And he still has this eternal victim mindset, even through our beef. I get sent a clip of him saying he would sue me for defamation if he thought he wouldn't get pushback.
Have you considered defamation channels exist for a reason? It might not be a good look, but the reason these channels keep doing it is because no one is willing to take them to court over it. I could sue these guys for defamation.
Couldn't find any help.
Money to no way make back the money that I would spend so much of my time that I normally spend on making content and get a ruling that would certainly be in my favor because they lied. Like, so many times did they obviously lie. But I'm gonna look bad the entire time. It's gonna inspire those not being sued to lie even more to make money, and I'm not gonna get anything out of it. I'm just gonna look worse even if I'm doing the right thing. Doesn't defamation require proof you suffer financial or mental harm as a result of the defamation? When I was talking to that lawyer, I did say that would be one of the harder things to do.
Let's see if they fixed random.
In abstract, obviously there's going to be both, but pointing to a line going down would be a lot harder.
So I followed him on my already existing Blue Sky account. Well, now I'm a stalker.
I woke up this morning and found out that
Jesus
he has
Christ.
joined Blue Sky, and you would expect that he would follow his friends, family, and, you know, content that he enjoys. But no, that's not what Willie does, because Willie is a psychotic stalker. So the first thing he does is follows me. Again, it's not that he follows friends, family, content that he enjoys.
I followed other people first. It's right there.
He's like, oh, I can stalk that Dark Viper AU guy, that guy who blocked me. This is insane behavior. This is psychotic. This is not normal. I have been in this business now for 12 years. I've been in the commentary community to some degree for all that time. I've had feuds with dozens of people, arguments back and forth with videos. I have never seen anyone as deranged as Willie Mac Show is. That's just not with people I've interacted with. Other people watching their feuds as well. I've never seen anyone act as Willie Mac Show has.
You've never seen someone follow you on social media? He acts like I followed his mom on Facebook or showed up to his house. How is he always the victim?
I've never seen anyone act as Willie Mac Show has.
Man.
Lying 4 months, spamming tweets 4 months, stalking on other platforms, making old accounts on platforms to stalk further. I'm not following him. I don't care what he says. I only find out about things he says when people DM them specifically to me.
Same, dude. I don't have most accounts that follow him. He's just making that up. Even in these tweets, he shows us talking trash back and forth. He has me blocked and he would respond to my tweets talking shit, but I couldn't respond back or even see it. We have both been antagonizing each other. It truly is the world's dorkiest beef. Two guys fighting over React content. No one's in danger. Matt, I don't hate you. I just think you're cringe and dramatic and you aren't beating those allegations anytime soon. Plays a clip of Chud talking about Viper's hypocrisy when viewing Sniper Wolf's content versus Asmon Gold's, and he frames this as Chud isn't adding anything. He's just acting confused. confused.
I'm sure there are people out there who think watching a video for the first time and being like, I don't understand. Chat, help. I gotta pause this video. Chat. What's he talking about here? I don't understand. I've done literally no research into this video. Like, I've never seen it before, but like, what's going on here, chat? Like, I'm sure some people think that's valuable stuff because it's adding to the runtime.
That clip is valuable because he's showing how your argument isn't making sense. He's literally adding value to the video.
Like, if you remember, Sniper Wolf wasn't mentioned in my first essay. And
what he doesn't understand is that, like, commentary is adding value to it. Like, I hate that none of these, like, guys who, like, have this argument with them ever bring up that the added content often listed when you purchase a movie, purchase a Blu-ray, or hell, even back on the VHS days, anytime you've purchased a movie, bonus content, the added content that adds value to the fact that you're paying, you know, full price for this movie as opposed to renting it. The reason you would want to own it instead of rent it back in the day was director's commentary track, where you can watch the movie again a second time, but this time with the director of the movie talking during the entire fucking movie, pausing it to add context. They're just doing that. That has been a thing forever, and it has added value to every single movie that it's ever been sold on. Just like these add commentary, and they add value to whatever video that they're on. And people, just like people watch the movie and then watch the commentary track because they really like the movie and they'd really like to hear commentary about it while they watch it again, do that with YouTube content. They watch the original video and then they want to watch their favorite reactor, watch it and get commentary on it. There's entire YouTube channels that make commentary tracks for movies that you can put on and start at the start of the movie and get their commentary for the movie while watching the movie as like companion pieces. If anything, a reactor's content is just that, a companion piece to the original content. God, why does no one make that argument to him? Because I really want to hear him beat that argument. Spoiler alert, he fucking can't.
I had no intention of mentioning her in it. And even Charlie said, why is Sniper Wolf not mentioned here? And I said explicitly, it's because technically what she makes is after the facts. And I said, maybe I will make a video on Sniper Wolf.
Wait, what? What does that mean? Sniper Wolf is taking people's TikToks, collecting them together, barely reacting to it, and making that her own content. Because it's not a live reaction. What difference does that make? Why does that make a difference?
It doesn't.
There is no difference. It's a legitimate example of how
There is
critical
no
React
difference.
content is real content that stands on its own. I would tell you to watch the video and come to your own conclusion, but Viper struck it down. Matt has this conspiracy where he thinks the only reason I made a video on him is because I'm friends with Chud. I can't possibly have my own opinions on React content or what qualifies as fair use.
It's important to remember why Willie was making this video in the first place. He wanted to defend his fellow drama associate, Chud Logic. So Willie Maxrow is one of these cartoonish grifters who is friends with Chud Logic. In fact, as I found out recently, he is in a group of drama YouTubers that all work together to like collaborate and push the same message and attack the same people. Of course, Willie Maxrow,
like you guys have meetings
association, even when he talks about
to decide who you're gonna attack next. Oh my god.
When I started making that video back in March, I don't think I've ever talked to Chud Logic before. Yes, we were in a group chat, but there was like 15 to 20 people in there. I haven't been a part of it in months. I don't know everybody who's in it, and I'm certainly not friends with all of them. It's the ultimate conspiracy people clutch onto when they get called out.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm watching Alex Jones.
Like you
Speaking of
guys
wild
have meetings
allegations,
to
Viper
attack
accuses
people.
Chud and his community of getting him doxxed on a forum. His proof is Chud talking smack after Viper tried to strike his video.
If you strike someone, even if it's 100% justifiable, legally and ethically, there'll be the Willie Maxrows going, this guy trying to turn off my free faucet of content? How dare they? Dig up anything from any point in this person's history that I can make a video on. I will take this person down.
I will find any possible clip of them looking terrible, mock it and laugh at it. That is now the fucking plan. This could be one of the most pathetic specimens I've ever come across. This is brilliant. Anyway, Jesus Christ, man. I'm going to spend my whole stream. Hating on top.
He's so easy to
What
hate.
we're going to do is we're going to spend the next 3 weeks digging up every single embarrassing thing that Dark Viper's ever done publicly and making content out of it. No, I'm not really going to do that, okay?
In the same way,
I will.
even though Chud was entirely legally and ethically in the wrong, and he knew that, Chud still made these demands of his viewers that made a thread about me and doxed me to thousands of people.
Any proof of that, Sherlock? Chud's video came out November 15th, 2023. Viper's Kiwi Farms thread didn't come out till March 23rd, 2024. Over 4 months later. You're prescribing a doxing allegation to his community based on nothing. It's crazy. He tries to frame me as a clout-hungry fallen fan who was trying to buddy up with him.
Willie is a person who is
I was a fan of, and now I'm
in
not.
the traditional sense of the word, where it's not just an insult. He actually just follows people that have a lot of viewership and tries to buddy up to them in order to get views. And so the reason he followed me on Twitter and engaged with my stuff so much was in an attempt to...
Willie gets more views than Chud. He just does. Maybe not live, but Willie doesn't live stream. Like, are you talking about live streams? Because Willie's videos typically get more views than Chud's live streams or Chud's videos. Like, nothing he's saying is making any sense.
To get views from me. When he found out that he couldn't get views from me because I didn't respect him, as was in this video, he seemed to conclude, at least that's the only explanation I can think of that explains why this video, that he could just lie about me.
This is based on me replying to 12 of his tweets over the course of 2 years.
Like, I talk to very few people. I trust so few people. To have me reach out to talk to you for any reason is a very, very strange thing.
I don't care. I don't feel honored by your DMs. Your ego is massive.
Willie Mac didn't know much about me. I thought he knew at least something. Because for the previous, like, year and a half, 2 years, he had liked 50 of my tweets, had responded to like a dozen of them. Of all the creators that I knew at the time, he had engaged with my Twitter the most in a positive way.
And I took that personally. That's 6 tweets a year, man. One of them is you tweeting at my video, calling it the video of the year. The others were general pop culture stuff. It's so parasocial of him to think we had this relationship.
As it turns out, Willie is a person who is a clout chaser in the traditional sense of the word, where it's not just an insult. He actually just follows people that have a lot of viewership and tries to buddy up to them in order to get views.
Yeah, that's why I sided with Chud Logic, for clout. What's funny is I remember him actually tweeting out a bunch of my videos, complimenting them, but when I went back on Twitter, I found that he deleted all of his tweets before December of last year, meaning he screenshotted these for this video and then deleted everything so I couldn't go back and check. Wow, such an honest guy.
If I see you waving, my hand goes in the air, even though you're waving to that guy over there.
It's obvious at this point that Viper doesn't know how to navigate a social situation. He really has that
because he doesn't leave his computer.
He's confused why Chud would be roasting him for putting a strike on his channel.
Here's just a small selection of how Chud acted reasonably when his video got taken down, entirely justifiably.
And pay money, pay his good money to get this fucking retarded bitch to file this stupid takedown request, okay?
That sounds reasonable.
Total idiots. Total fucking clown show over at that fucking lawyer place. That this lawyer would say this. It has to be that Dark Viper's been like, can you just please make sure that Chud doesn't get this because he'll just make more content about me. Correct! Here I am, Dark Viper! Let's go!
Yeah, let's fucking
I'm
go!
Here, baby! I'm here making more content about you, little wretch.
He's not gonna sue him.
The last thing you wanted to happen.
You had your lawyer asked not to let Chud know about your correspondence with YouTube. You struck his channel attacking his livelihood over a 1,000-view video. Of course he's going to roast you for this. How are you surprised? Sometimes Chud's just joking and Viper's using it unironically.
And if you saw the footage I put in there of Chud Logic, the man's an unhinged maniac.
Yes! I am a fucking unhinged maniac! That's right, motherfucker! I'm a fucking unhinged maniac! You've got me exactly right. That is what I am. I'm totally fucking unhinged, okay? I'm a total maniac! Ah!
Or he thinks it's hypocritical that I don't care that Tom told someone to kill themselves on Twitter.
Chud Logic, Nicholas, Dadrio, Turkey Tom.
Dadrio.
People have endless actual controversies that are true, that any of the things that Willie accuses me of in his video, if he actually cared about them, if he actually thought these were negative things worthy of, you know, telling the world or getting up in arms about, he wouldn't associate with any of these people. Kendrick versus Drake for unemployed people. This washed up liberal YouTuber, Turkey Tom, just spent 7 minutes dick riding my account because he wants to be relevant again. I've never even heard of him until today. You are a tard who reposts out of context clips all day begging for attention, and then you cry when people shit on you for it. Find a rope. Like, I don't think I've ever
Find a
gotten
rope.
hurt on Twitter that I've told someone to kill themselves.
stealing that
Honestly,
one,
I don't
Tom.
think that's ever happened in my entire life.
If you did the same thing, it wouldn't bother me at all. He says Chud put the word rape in his thumbnail. That means I can't point out how his rape analogy with React content is silly.
As I'm trying to establish, Willie
What?
is never here for the nuance. He doesn't
Wait,
care
why
what's actually written or why it
would
is
that
right
mean you
or wrong.
couldn't?
He is just looking for anything he can, regardless of how much out of context or how to distort his presentation, that can fit the
Damn it.
narrative he is trying to craft. With that all being said, it's important to remember why Willie was making this video in the first place. He wanted to defend his fellow drama associate, Chud Logic. In Chud's re-upload of my video, in the thumbnail, it says explicitly, raped by Jack.
You were trying to make a point which Carl has already explained to you why it was stupid.
What the problem with the analogy is the mindset is completely different. So someone can actually believe that what they're doing is fair use. And, you know, the fair use is only something that a court can decide. No one can spike a drink thinking that what they're doing is legal. Okay,
Sure.
so the mindset is completely different. Therefore, they don't think they need consent, and therefore they're not coming from. They might not be an immoral person whatsoever, and they might not have any bad intentions whatsoever, and can still be re-uploading content in a way that they believe is fair use. Someone who spikes a drink is always going to be
Always
immoral.
going to have evil
As
intent.
I've tried to
yes.
make the case, statements
The
that
intention
reactors make,
can
like,
vary.
oh, I'll take down the video if you
It's
tell
not
me
the
you want it to be
same.
taken down, or I'll pay money if people reach out to me, showcase that they know what they're doing is wrong to some degree.
Nobody knows if what they're doing is wrong because there is no data or court decision on this kind of content. They're just being amicable. Matt
there is.
Incapable of understanding that because
H3.
he's socially inept. He thinks I'm a hypocrite because
Court
I called
decision was
Destiny a
on
retard
this
in a
kind of
past
content.
drama and then went on his podcast years later.
Willie does not believe many of the things in which he says, nor does he actually care about anything that he says. There's so much that I could show to establish this, but I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I would like to touch on a few things. For example, his statements about Destiny a few years ago.
Why are you comparing a live stream to a YouTube video?
Out of
Because
context.
Copyright law doesn't change just because you live stream it. I think Destiny might just be kind of a retard.
Actual retard.
A literal retard.
I did a debate about the videos I made on him, and I opened, hey, did you watch any of the videos? And he goes, no.
You might think the reason why I bring this up is because it suggests that Willie is a person who will just flip-flop on anyone whenever convenient if he thinks he can get some views out of it. Or that perhaps Willie will make very confident statements about people that he barely even knows just because he thinks it will get views. Or maybe, depending upon your
Oh my
perspective, that Willie will say very confidently things that are entirely untrue and then realize years later, like, oh, I just talked out my ass. You know, that wasn't actually true. Or maybe that Willie does.
Or maybe his
absolutely no
opinion just
research on
changed
people
because
and
he
just
got to
says
know the
whatever
guy.
He
Jesus.
feels like, regardless of how true, because he knows it will get clicks and views.
Does he give any examples of how? Nope.
My point is to say that Destiny has been around for so long that every false claim Willie makes about me is actually true about Destiny. He has actually done every single possible negative misstep that a person can have in a content creator.
I mean,
The drama was
probably.
striking a
That part's
critical
probably true.
reaction of you. It was a trending story. Where
Destiny
did
has done
do
just
that?
about everything you
have
can
such
do
a
wrong
great
and
video
survived. He's
planned
like the
on Destiny,
cockroach
go
of
big.
internet
I could tell there's times
of
when he's
internet
almost
debate.
having fun during this drama. He's trying
He's
to rip on
uncancelable.
Nick, but he's never had friends to do this with, so he's struggling.
Nicholas Diorio, as is a. So there's a guy named Nicholas Didrio, which is his other friend, and
what the fuck was that?
He looks like a circle.
Yeah, call him fat, Matt.
He is perfectly circular in a way that I've never seen a person before.
Oh, dude, that was so good.
And like, I don't like to mock a person's physical appearance. It's not.
Wow, you're bad
in
at
my
this.
wheelhouse.
If you're gonna
But
roast the
I can't
man,
help but
roast
laugh
the
whenever
man.
anyone calls him Nicholas Diorio because he looks like an Oreo, right?
Just call him fat.
Oh, Matt, slow down. You're gonna burn down the whole house with these roasts.
But I heard of a story, like just scrolling stuff, where it's like, because I don't like bring up stuff from like 4 years ago, but like 4 years ago, he was on Twitter, and he posted a picture of him with a girl to insinuate that he had a girlfriend, and the girl comes.
Way to go, Nick.
The girl comes and like immediately says, haha, we're just friends. And so people widely mocked him because he tried to pretend to actually be in a relationship or whatever.
This was just Nick showing that he was at a bar during COVID, which was a rare thing at the time. But apparently it was widely mocked over this one like tweet, according to Matt.
But like Willie hangs out with the lowest of the low, the most laughable, pathetic people on this platform, and then seems to pretend like this isn't the case.
I'm sorry. I guess I can't hang out with fat people. My bad. To wrap things up, the reaction content dialogue needs more data for me to really care about it. I do think Matt being a spaz has made this whole thing a massive pain in the ass for him, but he's also the only reason we're even talking about this stuff, so I want to give him props there. We'll see what he does. Matt is making another video on me. I will probably respond at some point, so subscribe to the channel and buy a fume. Shout out to the homies over on Patreon. Crimson Glass.
Oh my god. Dude, somebody send my reaction clip to Dark Viper. I want to argue with him. I want to have an actual debate. I want to hear his response to the reaction content is just commentary, like director's commentary. It's not replacing the views of a video. It's a companion piece to it. I want to hear his reply to that. God, how has no one made that connection yet and had that argument with him? Please, Willie, Nick, Tom, or Dark Viper, if any of you stumble across this video or YouTube, the YouTube's gods bless me in the algorithm and feed it to you, please. Please bring this point up to him, or please counter this point yourself, Dark. I want to hear it. Oh my God, dude. Oh, fuck this guy. So much. Alright, I'm done with YouTube for a little while. We'll take a game break here. Christmas Shack. Where's like regular Shack? Oh wait, collectible styles. Wait, so you can have him. Oh, with the Santa beard on or off. This is dope Santa. Alright, well, random doesn't work despite being on. God damn. What else is in this OG pass? Really? I've unlocked everything? Oh, yeah. I would have completed this pass if I level up to claim more rewards. What level am I on this pass? I don't think there's anything in the OG pass I want. Earn 5 levels. Hero Baymax. Samurai Baymax. Regular Battle Royale for a little while. Done enough OG. To try the new mod for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite at some point too. That came out, didn't it? I think that's finally out. I'm gonna see what's inside this weird ring right here. Trees. Probably nothing, but... Ugh. Alright. Oh, okay. Not really what I meant to do, but sure. Oh, it's this fucking chest. There it is. Come to daddy. Merry fucking Christmas, bitches. What peppermint do? Oh my god. Okay, it's a speed boost thing. Not what I would have expected a peppermint to do, but I'll take it. Damn, how long does a peppermint last? I think it should have worn off by now. Is it just the rest of the match? Is this just me now? Oh, nope, there it is. It wore off. Good little while. I have a shotgun now? There's like nothing here. Well, I wanted to see what was here. And now I have. It's nothing. And loot, I guess. No actual, like, point of interest. Yep, where I came in. Okay. Wow, there's nothing there either. Okay. Yeah, I gotta find some YouTube content to watch. Not in a super Super talkative mood by myself here. Matter of fact, I'll probably end stream after this. Getting tired. And it's starting to show. Holy shit. Wait, is that an NPC? Why can't I damage that thing? Are these not real? Oh yeah, it is an NPC. Right, NPCs fighting NPCs. I was like, why isn't he killing the NPCs? What's happening here? Trying to help him kill them all so that I can actually talk to him and find out what's up. Jesus. Tried to sneak up on me. Oh, I just bought a blue one too. Oh man. You have a shotgun? He did. Thank you, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Well, a gentleman. There we go. Give me a blue one. What's this purple over here? It's the gun I dropped. I'm a fucking moron. Oh, God. Sorry. My throat is killing me. I should not even be streaming right now. I should have taken another day off. Oh, I still feel like ass. Yeah. Sexy noises, baby. That's what you guys are being subjected to right now. Oh, this is a bathhouse. So dirty now. Like I shouldn't be in there. Right. Yeah, I'll make this my last match, then we're calling it, guys. Is there anything you want to see and or talk about? Say so now. Otherwise, this stream is reaching its logical conclusion. An NPC versus an NPC? Yeah. Don't care about that fight then. I'm a survivor. Ah. Stuck on the environment like that is how it died last time. Yep, I stole your car and I made it dope. Squish! Oh, I tried to squish him. Ah, damn it. You stole my kill, dickhead. Oh my god. Dude. Damn it, I hit the wrong button. I didn't mean to pull that trigger. Oh my god, dude. Like the amount of fucking damage he did so fast. Well, I'm in the car. I never hit people while they're in the car like that, ever. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna call it right there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, witches of all ages. Oh, I want to thank you all for watching. Oh, God. I'm sorry, I feel like shit. So, a little bit of a shorter stream today because of that, but whatever. For now, though, I am going to go get some much needed rest. Maybe we'll do a nice long stream tomorrow. Kids are visiting their grandparents for Christmas, so I'll have more free time, so maybe I can do an actual longer stream. You know, after get off work, come home. Just stream all afternoon, stream all evening. I don't know, we'll figure something out. Follow the Twitter. All the socials are above my head here. So, you'll know exactly when I go live. For now, I'm going to bed. Jesus, I can't even do my outro properly. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you tomorrow. Probably evening, maybe night. I don't know. Sometime tomorrow. Follow the Twitter. Have a good one, everybody.